And with the singing of our national anthem, welcome to Kino Veterans Memorial Stadium in Tucson, Arizona, where we're about ready to get started for the baseball game in the Pecos League between Tucson Saguaros and the Santa Fe Fuego. There are 10 teams in the Pecos League, and they stretch from Alpine, Texas, up into Kansas, through New Mexico, up to Colorado, and down to Arizona. And this is the third of 4 games between these two teams. It'll be the last game here at Tucson's Kino Stadium. And then the two teams go to Bisbee in an arrangement that is there because the Bisbee team the town of Bisbee had a team in the Pecos League at one time. And this stadium is committed on Sunday to a traveling team, at least this year. Right now, the Tucson Saguaros are at the top of the South Division. They are 18-6 with a 4.5 game lead over the Roswell, New Mexico Invaders. Then come the Alpine, Texas Cowboys, 6 games back. White Sands, New Mexico Pupfish are 6.5 games back, and then this Santa Fe, New Mexico Fuego team is 13 games out and in last place, but they've given the Saguaros everything that they can handle in the last 2 evenings. Final score last night was 4-3 in favor of Tucson, and it was the same score the night before, 4-3. In both cases, Tucson used a 3-run outburst and then survived a late inning run to be able to come out on top 4-3. So stepping into the batter's box for the Fuego would be Omar Artson. He'll be followed by Matt Haskins and Luis Martini. Artson plays shortstop for the Fuego, and he has gone 0 for 5 so far in this ball game. He pinch hit on Thursday night, looking at the first strike, and made an out, and then he went 0 for 4 yesterday, so he's 0 for 5 on the year. Second pitch misses outside, and the count goes to 1-1. On the mound for the Tucson Saguaros is Brian Lubeck. Lubeck is 2-1 on the year with a 5 earned run average. This one hit softly or sharply to right center field, and Burnell Daly gets over there and snags it. He covers a tremendous amount of ground, got a great first step on that, and recorded the first out. And so hang a star on that one, as Burnell Daly, even though he's struggling a little bit at the plate, is certainly earning his keep in center field. That one looked ticketed for a double headed towards the 388 sign. But as it turned out, Mr. Daly got there and recorded the first out of the game. Matt Haskins has been wearing out the pitching of the Tucson Saguaros. Matt is 5 for 7 here in the 2 games played so far. Overall batting at .305. He was 2 for 4 on Thursday night and then 3 for 3 last night. So Matt has been a handful for Saguaro pitching, as the second pitch is in for a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. Brian has gotten out there for 4 starts this year, and as I mentioned, is 2-1. Next pitch is fouled off straight to the screen, and the count will go to 1-2. The infield for the Saguaros, Ted Geisel well back at third base. Michael Morris at shortstop as the 1-2 pitch comes in, catches the inside corner, and it is a called strikeout for the second out of the inning. First strikeout for Brian Lubeck. Luis Martini, who played the first game at shortstop, moving over to second base now, is stepping in. And Luis, so far on the series here, is 2 for 7. Got 1 hit in each of the games Thursday and Friday night. Martini overall batting .316. As I mentioned, playing second base tonight. The wheel and deal by Lubeck. Catches that outside corner for strike 1. Umpires tonight, Sean Holloway behind the plate, and Cam Couture is out on the bases. In the Pecos League, they only have 2 umpires as the next pitch misses and the count goes to 1-1. Cam Couture went down with a knee injury last night. This one stroked on to Michael Morris, who catches it right off his shoe tops and gets it over to first base and Ryan Retz for a 1-2-3 inning. So after a half inning, nothing across and no hits recorded, and the Saguaros will be coming up to bat for their part of the bottom of the first inning. 11 pitches thrown by Lubeck in the first inning. No hits recorded. Finish our story about Cam Couture. He told me that, interestingly enough, normally an knee injury you would expect to come out of football or maybe even basketball, but his knee injury came out of swimming. Apparently missed time to turn at the end of the pool and wrenched the knee. Since that time, he's had several surgeries on it. Last night we had about a 35-minute rain delay, and during that time, actually it was about a 25-minute rain delay, and then it came up to the fact that they got back in play. On the very first play, Cam ran down to third base to cover a play at third and stepped on a little wet spot and wrenched his knee again. So he promises no more busted knees tonight. I'm certain that he will agree with that 1,000%. But he very gamely went over and got the knee wrapped and then sent somebody out to his car to get a knee brace, which he is wearing tonight, and came back into the game and finished up. As I mentioned, only 2 umpires in the Pecos League, so to lose an umpire in the middle of the game would be kind of tough. They believe that Sean Holloway, the home plate umpire, a couple of nights ago, had some sort of personal problem going on, and he needed to leave at about the 7th inning. And so they had some ball players out there doing the umpiring, such as life in the minor leagues. Bottom half of the first inning, it'll be Michael Morris, Devon Poole, and Adam Urbania. All of them batting well over 350. Well, Poole is at 347. Michael Morris stepping in there, batting 392. Michael in the Thursday night game was 2 for 5, 1 for 3 last night, so he's 3 for 8 overall in the series. The first series that we had with the Fuego here, they were really outclassed and outgunned, but they have certainly appointed themselves rather well in the 2 games with 4-3 losses in both sections and had the tying run on base. First pitch strike for the pitcher, Zach Carter. This is his debut, newly added to the Saguaro lineup. Next pitch at the knees, and 2 strikes recorded now against Michael Morris. In the last 2 games, he's gone 0 for 3 and then popped 2 base hits in his 4th and 5th at-bat in both cases. This one misses just outside, and the count will go to 1-2. Michael attended the college in Cooksville, Tennessee, the Golden Eagles. They are the Tennessee Tech. Interestingly enough, Los Angeles State also are the Golden Eagles. And the newly acquired third baseman for the Saguaro, this one swung on and pounded into the dirt, cutting off the shortstop, is Kevin Alvarez, and that's exactly what he's expected to do. So first out of here, the bottom of the first inning. As I mentioned, Tanner Geisel, the new third baseman for the Saguaros, came from Los Angeles State, and Los Angeles State also calls themselves the Golden Eagles. Devon Poole stepping in, playing second base tonight. Devon is batting 347. He played in the first game of the series, fouls this one off, and went 0 for 4. Sat out last night in favor of Michael Rampone. Rampone just coming back from 2 weeks away from the team for personal reasons. So Devon got an opportunity to shine. This one he reaches out and lofts one to right center field, but getting over very quickly is Bradley Thomas, and that will record the second out of the inning. Thought maybe that had an opportunity to drop in, but did not. Very warm day in Tucson today, and with the light air, that ball will hang up a little bit more. If you have an evening game with heavy air, probably would have sat down and gotten a base hit for Mr. Poole. Woulda, coulda, shoulda. 2 outs here in the bottom of the first inning with Adam Urbania up there. Urbania is a left fielder and promptly hits it down the right field line. It's going to drop in for a single. Urbania is going for 2, and he gets there standing up. So a double for Adam. He is batting a blistering .450, and in the series so far, he is 3 for 9. He had a fabulous road trip going 17 for 26, and with 2 outs, a runner in scoring position, and Ryan Rentz comes up. Ryan, the first baseman for the Saguaros, 3 for 7 on the series so far, 2 for 3 on Thursday night, 1 for 4 last night. Up there with that very, very open stance, and the pitcher should bust him outside, but misses high, and it's a ball. So Adam Urbania on a hot streak here, first pitch swinging, and wraps it down the right field line about 3 feet in fair territory. Bradley Thomas got over there quickly, but was unable to cut off the run, making it second base. Second pitch into Ryan is a ball, and the 0-2 count is up on the board. Runner in scoring position, bottom of the first inning here. Ryan Rentz up at bat. Ryan has pushed his batting average back up over 300 in the last couple of days. Hits this one to the 5.5 hole, but I think it is hit too hard to turn the runner loose at third base, so they will hold Urbania up at third base as Rentz drives him over there on a base hit to left field. They call that 5.5 hole sometimes between the third baseman and the shortstop, and probably the most famous individual ever to live in that particular spot, if you will, was the 19-year Hall of Fame veteran from the San Diego Padres, Tony Gwynn. Tony used a 28-inch bat, which is like unheard of, and I can't remember the ounce on it, but it was very, very light. And he used to just pop that ball between third and shortstop with great consistency. Tanner Geisel up there batting .333. We'll have runners at first and third with 2 outs here. Looks at a first pitch ball. Tanner 1 for 2 on Thursday evening, 0 for 4 last night, so he's 1 for 6 on the series. He got off to a relatively decent start, coming in last Monday when the Saguaros were on the road. The 1-0 pitch set to go. Changeup catches the low outside corner for a called strike. So Carter shows that he has something more than just a fastball and a curve. Came through with a relatively decent off-speed pitch, the changeup, and got it in the right place, low and outside. You certainly don't want to throw that changeup into some batter's eyes. Checking the runner at first base and see if he goes. He does not. The next pitch is a curveball and catches that outside corner. And the count will be 1-2. Tanner Geisel from Los Angeles State University. Actually, they call it Cal State Los Angeles. Have to be formal here. Can't call it Cal State or San Diego State anymore. It's got to be Cal State whatever. Rent starts to move. The ball lifted to right field, but Bradley Thomas has it measured and makes the third out of the inning. So even though there were a couple of base runners for the Saguaros, they were unable to capitalize, and they go out with McKenna, Daly, and Lyons due up next. Lyons sitting in at catcher for tonight. "14 pitches for Carter. Gave up 2 hits in the inning, so we'll move on to the top of the second inning, and Santa Fe will be bringing up their 4th, 5th, and 6th hitters in the lineup. Kind of interesting that Chris Taveras, who has been playing third base, check that first base for the Saguaro, has been struggling. In fact, he is hitless here in the series so far. Chris did do a very good job the first time that the Fuego came through. But this time he's 0 for 8, and surprisingly, they moved him up to the 4th spot in the lineup. He does have the power, however, as he has 5 home runs to his credit. Has a 4 double output, 5 home runs included in his 23 hits. Does not have a particularly strong arm to second base, however. So whether that is for show, the light, easy toss to second base during the warm-ups, and he has a much stronger arm otherwise, remains to be seen. So Taveras will lead it off, followed by Kevin Alvarez and Joseph Maggi. The bottom of the order actually has fairly decent batting averages, with the exception of Maggi, who has not played that much and bats 143. Carter, the pitcher, has not come up to bat in the Pecos League, so he is 0-0-0. First pitch is a ball. Geisel is way back at third. Apparently is not concerned in any way, shape, or form with the power-hitting Chris Taveras dumping a bunt down there. Needs to change his style when Bradley Thomas comes up, because Thomas loves to try that drag bunt. Swung on and missed, and the count goes to 2-1. In fact, in the last 2 games out of the 8 times at bat, Thomas has tried to lay down that bunt almost every time. Misses outside. 3-1 the count will go. It's Geisel at third, Morris at short, Poole at second, and Retz at first. 3-1 fouled off back in the stands, and we'll go 3-2. Looking at the outfield, Urbania is in left. The very speedy Brunel Daly is in center, and he's already flashed that speed by making an outstanding catch against Omar Artson, the leadoff batter in this ballgame, and then Thomas McKenna is over in right. Once again, fouled off and straight back. So that'll rack up the 6th pitch of the at-bat, and the count remains 3-2. Nice little crowd tonight. Was down a little bit last night because of the inclement weather. 3-2, changeup, swung on and missed. So Chris Taveras, still struggling at the plate here in this series, is now 0 for 9 on the series, and that'll bring up Kevin Alvarez. Alvarez batting .338 and is playing a, well, let's see, they announced Maggi, but the PA announcer missed it, I guess, because we do have number 23 Alvarez up there. I was about ready to say that Kevin, looking at the first pitch of ball outside, has done a very nice job at third base, as witnessed by the way he cut off a slow roller. Looks at the next one for a strike, as he cut off a slow roller and got Michael Morris out as the leadoff hitter for the Saguaros in the first inning. That change curve misses outside, and the count will go to 2-1. Everybody pretty much straight away. Geisel apparently not concerned in any way, shape, or form about a bunt. This one fisted out to Morris, and Morris gets it over to first base, but what do we have here? I believe they're going to call catcher's interference. No real call from the umpires out there. Cam Couture, I believe, was the one that made the call. And now some sort of explanation going to Brian Lubeck. But howsomever, Alvarez is on first base. And that brings up Joseph Maggi. Maggi from the left side, the first baseman. And Lubeck misses the first pitch. A ball, 3 batters in a row that Lubeck has thrown the first pitch a ball, and that's not something you want to get into. 1-0 pitch swung on and missed as a nice changeup was thrown by Lubeck. Keep the batter off balance. That's exactly what the pitcher's Bible says. Daly straight away in center. McKenna swung over a little bit towards the line, so there's a big hole at the 388 sign towards the wall. This one, another changeup down low, and swinging for a missed strike is Maggi. 1 ball and 2 strikes. We have 1 out here in the bottom of the second. Check that, the top of the second inning. No score on the board. Just getting started. Very comfortable evening here at Kino Stadium in Tucson, Arizona. Pitch misses outside, and we're squaring up the count at 2. Couple of strikeouts recorded so far by Lubeck. Got Taveras to lead off the inning here. Slow curve, looked good, but apparently was not good enough. And we'll run it out to a 3-2 count. Lubeck had a 3-2 count on Taveras to lead off the inning and got him on swinging strikes. So we'll see how he handles Joseph Maggi, the first baseman, batting 143 from the left side to the right-handed Lubeck. This one swung on and hit towards Urbania in or left field, and it is a line shot, but gathered in by the very, very talented left fielder for the Saguaros. Second out of the inning. Alvarez, of course, staying at first base, and that will bring up Brady Thomas. Let's see if Geisel moves in. I realize there are 2 outs, but Thomas seems to love to try to drag that bunt down the third baseline as Geisel kind of wanders in and is about a step and a half off the grass, now moving up on the grass. So obviously he is aware of what's going on. Lyons does a good job of blocking an inside in the dirt pitch for a ball. This is the 7th batter for the Fuego, and out of the 7 batters, first pitch balls have been thrown to 5 of them. Not a particularly good way to assert yourself on the mound. Just inside, so 2 balls and no strikes. Kevin Alvarez is at first base, and he is not a threat to steal. 3-0 the count goes. Alvarez has not attempted any stolen bases. Has a moderate lead, and Lubeck misses outside 4 straight. So a walk will send Alvarez into scoring position on second base with 2 outs here in the top of the second inning, with Joey Lacuna stepping in. Lacuna has a pretty good series going for him, 3 for 8. He was 2 for 4 in the Thursday game and 1 for 4 last night. So even though he's down towards the bottom of the order in the 8th position, that .375 batting average is not to be sneezed at. Strike on the outside corner. That's a pitch that was called pretty frequently last night and got the ire of the Fuego bench as they were on the base, or the home plate umpire Cam Couture, pretty readily there. Next one swung on and missed. So Lubeck, after getting 2 on, is 0-2 with 2 outs here in the top of the second inning against the Santa Fe Fuego. Santa Fe Fire, if you will. Got out my English-Spanish dictionary. Double check of second base. The pitch to the plate is hit into left center field, and that will score a run. Alvarez not particularly fleet of foot, but it was hit right between the outfielders, and once again, the Fuego draw first blood. That moves Thomas over to second base, and an RBI single for Lacuna, bringing home Alvarez. If Alvarez is in a 100-yard dash, I would not put my money on him. Plays a very adequate third base, but does not have any wheels to speak of. Zach Carter, the pitcher, in there. No batting average. Kind of waves at an outside pitch, but it is not called a strike. And the count goes to 1-0. So Santa Fe at the bottom of the South standings has kind of turned things around with new management. Next pitch is really wrapped to left field. Urbania on his horse, and he grabs it. What an outstanding play by Adam Urbania, and we have seen him do that over and over again. The ball was falling towards the left field foul line, and Adam got over there, slid underneath it, and caught it for the third out, and that definitely saved one, possibly two runs, because your runner from first base with 2 outs is going to be going with the stroke of the bat. But 1 run in and 1 hit given up. Catcher's interference was called on Kevin Alvarez, who had dribbled one back towards the mound, and he was placed on first base. He moved around with Bradley Thomas getting a walk, and then the base hit by Joey Lacuna, batting .375. I mentioned it's kind of interesting that they have several 300 hitters from the 5th through the 9th position does the Fuego. So they draw first blood once again, as they have done on Thursday evening and last night. And in both cases, the Saguaros came back with a 3-run inning and wound up winning it 4-3 in a couple of very competitive baseball games. First time the Fuego were through here, they did not fare particularly well. Then apparently when they were back home, there was a little bit of a shakeup at the manager position. And now we have a player manager, T.J. Zarwitz, out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. He is next to the oldest on the team. Most of these players are in the area of 21 to 24 years of age, as TJ will have a birthday here in the not-too-distant future, the 19th, so he's about 8 days away from being 26 years old. So the Saguaros will send up 6, 7, and 8. That's McKenna, Daly, and Lyons. McKenna just batting under 300. .298 to be exact. McKenna up there 0 for 3 on Thursday and 0 for 4 last night, so he's struggling a bit at the plate. Swinging first pitch and grabbing it is Manji at first base. 1 pitch and 1 out. Brunell Daly, .293 on the year. Brunell 1 for 4 and 1 for 3, 2 for 7 in the series. But boy, oh boy, has he earned his keep out in center field, as witnessed several times, going a long, long way to catch up to balls that were apparently headed to the gap either left or right of him. First ball is a ball. First pitch is a ball. Lions on deck, and fourth man coming up with a called strike will be the pitcher Lubeck. Be nice if Daly could get on a little bit more often, as Brunell steals bases with some consistency. Next pitch is a strike. 1 ball and 2 strikes. He's attempted to steal 13 times and been successful 9 of them. Did get thrown out in last night's game. Next one swung on, and the catcher loses track of it, but he gets out and grabs it, and Chris Taveras throws to first base for the out. But that's recorded as a strikeout, and it will be the first strikeout of the game for Zach Carter in his debut here in the Pecos League. Tommy Lyons doing the catching tonight. Danny Droll and Jesse Baker have been the two that have been trading the catching duties back and forth. And for the most part, Tommy Lyons has been the designated pinch hitter. On the knees for a strike, Tommy standing in there batting .250. He pinch hit last night and did not get on. Next pitch almost in the same spot, but misses a little low, and it'll be 1-1. Not much of a breeze tonight. What there is blowing from the left field corner to the right field corner. Boy, interesting weather we had last night and early today. Swung on and missed 1 and 2. You would have thought we would have been washed down every wash in the area if you looked at the skies during the morning hours and the midday. But all of a sudden, the skies decided to clear, and a very pleasant evening here at Kino Stadium. Outside, count squares at 2. Lots of 2s across the board. On Tommy Lyons' back is 32, and then we have 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. Nobody on here in the bottom of the second inning, and the Saguaros trail by 1. Misses outside again, and this is the first time that Carter has gone to a full count. Gave up a double in the first inning, and then a hit right after that. Got men on first and third with 2 outs, but that's as far as it went. 3-2 pitch on the way. Lyons reaches out and saves his at-bat by slapping it into the screen on the left side. Try 3-2 and again. Lubeck is the on-deck hitter. 3-2. Hit to right field, but on his horse is Brady Thomas, and he gathers it in for a 1-2-3 inning against the Saguaros. They go out quietly, no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on base. At the end of 2 full innings of play, it is Tucson 0 and Santa Fe coming up, and they have 1 on the board to this point. Okay, ready to go for the top of the third inning here with the Saguaros down by a run. And the leadoff hitter for Santa Fe will be the top of the order, Omar Artson, Matt Haskins, and Luis Martini. Right down center street for a called strike. Omar got robbed by Burnell Daly in center field as the leadoff hitter in the ball game. Boy, that Daly can fly. Next one is fouled off to the right side, and 0-2 will be the count. Omar was a pinch hitter in the first ball game and did not get on base, and then he struggled last night 0 for 4. Next pitch right at the knees but misses. So Omar is 0 for 5, 0 for 6 now in the series. And the waste pitch runs the count to 1 ball and 2 strikes. missing outside, so it's all even at 2-2. Fifth pitch of the at-bat will be coming up. 1-0 in favor of Santa Fe. This one hit sharply over the head of Poole into right center field, but Daly is over to pick it up and hold the runner Haskins to a single. Check that, Artson to a single. Haskins, the next batter. Artson has attempted 2 stolen bases and been successful on both of them. Strike on the outside corner. Haskins is not necessarily the guy that you want up at this particular time because he's 5 for 7 on the series. He was 3 for 3 last night. In his first at-bat, he took a called third strike. That off-speed pitch rode up a little bit high, and Haskins got his bat on it but drove it back into the screen, and 0-2 is the count. 2 strikeouts recorded by Lubeck already, one of them being Matt Haskins, the batter that's up there right now. Swung on and hit high into right center. Daly got a good run on it, but he, well, by golly, I thought he wasn't going to catch up with it, but he did. Daly in right center field, actually almost to dead right field. And basically what you tell your center fielder is you can go get that ball anywhere you want to. And the corner fielders, left and right, need to give way. So Daly, once again, with a nice defensive play, he gets an outstanding first step, which is just a quality in an outfielder that you cannot teach. Lots of times that is learned in batting practice, as a matter of fact. If you're out there and on your toes and watching the hitter and where his arms are and where the contact of the bat is, sometimes you can guess exactly where that ball is going. And obviously, Burnell Daly has elevated that craft very nicely. Luis Martini is in there, takes a ball for the first pitch. He grounded out to the shortstop Morris his first time at bat. The off-speed pitch is at the knees now for a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. Martini 2 for 7 on the series. Has gotten a single in each of the games on Thursday night and Friday night. To the plate, misses outside. 2-1. Boy, Geisel plays an extremely deep third base. Quite frankly, never seen a third baseman back that far. Very rangy young man and has a very strong arm. This one is fouled off the screen and then hops over the screen and into the crowd. 2-2 is going to be the count. Artson, a mild threat to run at first base, so we'll kind of keep an eye on him. Taveras is the next batter, and he has home run power. Has not shown it here in Kino Stadium. Misses low, and once again we'll go to a 3-2 count. Lupke went to a 3-2 count twice in the last inning, got a strikeout on one and a flyout on the other. So we'll see what happens here. 3-2 to Luis Martini, the shortstop, wrapped foul down the right field side. As Martini did fairly decent job of getting the head of the bat out and directing it towards right field, but could not keep it fair. And we'll come back and try it again, 3-2. Top of the third inning, Santa Fe with a 1-run lead. Omar Artson, the shortstop, is at first base. This one is swung on and tapped towards Geisel. Geisel to second for one, and a little bit late at first base for the second one. Artson got down there pretty quickly and tangled up Devon Poole as he was trying to rotate and throw to first base. So on a fielder's choice is Martini, but a 5-4 out is recorded at second base for the second out of the inning. And Chris Taveras stepping in there, batting .291 at the start of the game, is 0 for 1, struck out in the second inning. And Chris has had his struggles here in Kino Stadium, 0 for 8 through the games Thursday, Friday, and then 0 for 1 tonight. That sweeping off-speed pitch catches him for a strike, kind of a half-hearted swing, and missed it. TJ Zarowitz, the player-manager for the Fuego, laying out some signs. We'll keep an eye on Martini, see if he wants to take off. Another off-speed pitch just misses, and we go 1-1. Lewis has stolen 5, been caught once, so definitely a threat to go, and I would suspect if Taveras gets 2 strikes on him, he's going. Well, he's going this time, and it's fouled off. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Don't know whether it was a hit and run or whether Taveras just liked the looks of the pitch. Going to suspect that it was a hit and a run because the pitch was just a little high and outside, but Taveras got a bat on it. And the catcher, Tommy Lyons, was not tested. We'll keep an eye on Martini on first and see if he goes again. He does not. That breaking pitch just misses outside. And we got a bunch of 2s on the board. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. Lubeck has given up 1 run, struck out 2. And now through 3 innings of work has given up the second base hit. Swung on a miss, strike 3, and Chris Taveras continues to struggle at the plate. 3rd out of the top of the 3rd inning. No runs, 1 hit recorded on that. That's going to be the 2nd hit of the game for the Fuego.
Fans plans to be here at Kino Stadium on Monday, July the 4th, as your Tucson Saguaros play baseball, as well as a spectacular fireworks display after the show. Also, some other great things going on: half-price hot dogs and soda and popcorn on July the 4th. Spend Independence Day right here at Kino Stadium for a spectacular fireworks display and Saguaros baseball.
20 pitches that inning for Lubeck as he's getting up in pitches, 56 overall. So we go to the bottom of the 3rd inning and see what the Saguaros can do about getting that 1 run erased. They had a 3-run outburst in the 3rd inning in Thursday night's game, and then they saved their 3-run outburst until the 5th inning in last night's game, and in both games they came away with 4-3 victories. Coming up to the plate will be the pitcher spot, Brian Lubeck. Then to the top of the order, Michael Morris and Devon Poole. Zach Carter out there, he's given up no runs, gotten 1 strikeout, given up a couple of hits, has retired the last 4 batters to face him, one of those being a strikeout victim. 2.5 innings in the books. Saguaros up 1-0. Smattering of folks here. First year for the Saguaros in Tucson. And the word has slowly but surely begun to be getting out. And slowly but surely we have a few more fans in the stands each night, with the exception of last night when the weather was threatening. July 4th, they hope to get a big crowd. First pitch swung on and fouled at the plate for a strike. Got a ball game and fireworks going on Monday, July the 4th. The Saguaros will go over and play in Bisbee on that Sunday, then come back here for the Monday game, and then go back on the road for Tuesday and Wednesday before returning over the weekend. This one wrapped out towards Artson at short. Double pumps, throws a little bit high, and whoa, Maggi almost got his foot pulled off the bag, but the 6-3 out will count, and that's the first out of the bottom of the 3rd inning. Michael Morris started the game batting .392. He grounded out to Alvarez at first base as the leadoff hitter in the game. Morris from the left side. and Carter from the right. Devon Poole is the next hitter. He ripped the line drive to Bradley Thomas. I keep wanting to call him Thomas Bradley. I don't know why. Anyway, Bradley Thomas in right field. First pitch is a ball. 1-0 set to come down the pike and outside and low, but Michael Morris seemed to take a liking to it and missed it. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out in the bottom of the third inning. 1-0 in favor of Santa Fe. This one down about in the same spot and fouled off straight to the screen. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Changeup wrapped hard to Alvarez, but he just reached up and grabbed it. Actually, Morris did an outstanding job of protecting the outside part of the plate and wrapped it hard, but it was within the range of Kevin Alvarez at third base and the second out of the inning. Devon Poole, as I mentioned, lined out to right fielder Bradley Thomas in the first inning. Hit the ball well. It would be nice if he could hit the ball well once again, and this time not hit right at somebody. Devon Ofer fouls this one off to the right side, and will go 1 ball and 1 strike. Devon played in the Thursday night game, the 4-3 victory for the Saguaros. Unfortunately went 0 for 4. Had a couple of nice plays in the field, however. This one ripped down the right side and foul, just barely. 1-2. Other games around the league tonight: Garden City at Topeka, Alpine will be at Trinidad, Great Bend at Salina, White Sands at Roswell. White Sands and the Saguaros hook up for 6 games next week. Pitch just misses outside, and Carter kind of looked in long and hard at home plate umpire Sean Holloway. Holloway just looked back at him, so 2-2 will be the count. Nobody on, couple outs, and this one in the dirt. And I'll tell you what, Devon Poole really would like to have that swing back before he started to run down to first base with the ball in the dirt. He was shaking his head already, so no runs and no hits, no errors and nobody left on, and a goose egg all the way through. Well, I'll be doggone. The University of Arizona's baseball team will be going to the College World Series in Omaha. They won today's game 6-5 at Mississippi State, and that was the best of 3. So when you win 2, you win a best of 3 series, and they're on their way to Omaha. Did not have that spectacular a season during the year, played almost 500 ball as they went through the Pacific 12 League, but somehow or other they got it done. And the thing that is most noteworthy about it is apparently the starting pitcher yesterday for Mississippi State had been an extremely high draft choice, and the Wildcats beat him 1-0, and then came back today winning 6-5. So congratulations to the Wildcats, and we will look forward to them in Omaha, Nebraska in the College World Series that will be starting midweek. Well, we've got 3 full in the book, and it's 1-0 in favor of Santa Fe. They will have the 5th, 6th, and 7th spot. Alvarez, Manji, and Thomas. With the exception of Manji, Alvarez and Thomas swinging the bat fairly well overall. Boy, that's nice to hear about the Wildcats. Good for them. Kevin Alvarez stepping in. He got on a fielder's choice. in the second inning. First pitch is a called strike. Actually, it was catcher's interference if you want to come right down to it. He moved around on a walk to Bradley Thomas. Next pitch is outside, 1-1. And then came all the way home when Joey Lacuna got a base hit and an RBI there in the 8th spot in the lineup. Swung on and fouled off to the right side. 1 ball and 2 strikes. 3 strikeouts so far recorded by Brian Lubeck. This one hit to left center field, and Daly on his horse again, and he gets there. Very, very impressive. Burnell Daly in center field getting a great first step on 3 different outs here. He got the leadoff hitter in the game on an outstanding play, and then came back to gather one in against Matt Haskins in the 3rd inning, and this time got into the gap and collected the first out here in the top of the 4th. So Daly certainly not tearing it up at the plate, is more than earning his keep by covering covering center field in a tremendous manner. First pitch to Maggi is a called strike. He lined out to Urbania in left field, and I tell you what, the outfield combination here of Urbania, Daly, and McKenna is doing an outstanding job this year. Pitch at the knees, 2nd strike. Maggi in a hole 0-2. He ran Lubeck out to a 3-2 count in the 2nd inning. Next pitch misses. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Coming into the inning, Lubeck had 56 pitches. Right-hander against left-hander. Maggi, the first baseman, just missed him inside. I mean, missed hitting him, not missed the strike zone. And a 2-2 count. Fastball got Maggi kind of turning away from it. Maggi not swinging the bat particularly well. 143 coming into this game. This time he hits it foul down the left side. And we'll go to the 6th pitch of the at-bat. Joseph has not played in either of the Thursday or Friday night games. So here on a Saturday evening, getting his opportunity to play. This one down low, kind of squirts between the legs of the catcher Lyon. And we'll go to a 3-2 count. Lubeck has managed a 3-2 count several times tonight and has come away on the better side of it. Swung on and hit out towards Poole. Poole with the big hop, kind of underhand flips it to Ryan Rentz, and that will account for the 2nd out here in the top of the 4th inning. Bradley Thomas stepping in. He got a walk in the 2nd inning, got around to second base on Lacuna's base hit, RBI single, by the way, that scored Alvarez, and that's the only run of the game up to this point. 1-0 in favor of Santa Fe. Thomas came into the game batting .333, and with the walk will stay at exactly that same spot. First pitch misses for a ball. Some activity going on over in the Kino Sports Complex and the soccer stadium over there. Nice to see this beautiful facility being used. This one hits Thomas on the knee. I don't know. As an umpire, I'd kind of look at that and say, hey, buddy, you kind of leaned into that. But that's the way it goes. Major leaguer that was famous for that was Tim Flannery. Hall of Fame relief pitcher Trevor Hoffman once described Flannery as leading the league in Band-Aids and Tide because Flannery was always sliding in the dirt, getting cut up, getting banged up. Don't know how many times he got hit during his career, but it certainly was not 2. Lacuna is up, got a base hit and an RBI in the first inning. Looks at the pitch outside for a ball. Bradley Thomas has taken off 10 times and been successful on 8 of them. So we'll kind of cast an eye with 2 outs towards first base. And he's going. Not even a look back by Lubeck, as the young man got psyched out there and did not make a second check at Thomas. And Thomas was halfway to second base by the time the pitch was delivered, which meant that Tommy Lyons, the catcher, had not a prayer to get him out at second base. So a runner in scoring position now with 2 balls and a strike accounted against Lacuna. Kind of unfortunate to see that, as Brian was so concentrating on the hitter that he made no effort to take a peek at Thomas over at first base, and Thomas is now at second and dancing around a little bit. Goes to third, swung on and missed. The throw to third goes into left field, and Thomas will score. So Tommy Lyons catching tonight for the Saguaros. Sails one into left field on a stolen base by Bradley Thomas. And Santa Fe goes up 2-0 with the count, 2 balls and 1 strike. This one is hit to left center field. Does not stay up long enough for Daly to get over there, and that'll be a base hit for Lacuna, his second one in 2 times at bat, and that will bring up the pitcher with 2 outs in the person of Zach Carter. 2-out rally for the Fuego, spearheaded by Bradley Thomas, taking second base without a challenge, then taking third, and the ball sailing over and going into left field. The error on the throw to the catcher Lyons, the first pitch is outside for a ball. Joey so far has not made any effort to steal a base in the league. This one hit down towards Geisel, and it is foul. And the Fuego dugout is going nuts. They were on the base umpire Cam Couture, who was behind the plate last night, and Sean Holloway is behind the plate tonight, and that call of a foul ball certainly drew the Santa Fe ire, as returning back to first base will be Lacuna. One the count to the pitcher. That nice change curve missed low. 2-1 is the count. Next pitch high. And 3-1 with a runner on first base, 2 outs and a runner in here in the top of the 4th inning, as Tucson has dug themselves a 2-run hole against the Santa Fe Fuego. That pitch on the outside corner called strike, and once again Brian Lubeck will go to a 3-2 count. Brian on the season is 2-1, has a 5-run ERA in his 4 starts. This one hit down towards Poole. He scoops it up and gets it over to first base for the 3rd out of the inning, but not before 1 run comes in. 3.5 innings of play in the books. Santa Fe 2, and the Saguaros coming in at 1. We're going to have the kids running the bases. If you're new to the Saguaros, you know that they do not play here on Sunday. And so the only time the kids are able to run the bases would be tonight in the middle of the game, so that they don't have the kids staying up until 9:30, 10 o'clock, maybe even 10:30 depending. So youngsters beginning to filter down out of the stands. We see a couple of young people that look in the vicinity of maybe 3 years old, maybe 2. And our camera person, Chris Carrasco, wanted to go down there and run the bases. That's why we have the static camera here. And he is the first one around from first to third. Big deal for the kids to run the bases, and it's wonderful that they do sneak it in here. "23 pitches logged by Lubeck in the top of the fourth inning, and that runs him out to 79 pitches over 4 innings of play. So we'll see what the Saguaros can do with the middle of their order, Urbania, Retz, and Geisel. Urbania got a double, Retz got a base hit, but that was the end of that, as one of our little pumpkins is stepping on the bag, and that will end the youth running of the bases. My goodness, if that little girl is 2 years old, I'll put in with you, but good for her. Get out there and run the bases a little bit. Urbania doubled in the first inning. Started the evening batting .450, which, as they say, ain't too shabby. I don't care what level of play you're at. Independent League is the Pecos League. There are 10 of them. This is an opportunity for NAIA players, Division II and Division III players that maybe did not get scouted to maybe catch the eye of a scout somewhere along the line and move up the ladder. Unfortunately, a ball one coming in. I can't remember the name of the player, but Roswell was ballyhooing on their website the other day. This one wrapped hard to center field. Daly, check that. That is Haskins dropping back, and it goes off the top of the wall for a double for Urbania. And Urbania is really clubbing the daylights out of the ball. Hit it to the deepest part of center field, 405 feet away. It landed at the base of the wall, carrying Haskins all the way back there, and with a runner on scoring position for the Tucson Saguaros in the bottom of the fourth inning. They are down 2-0. Rhett's got a base hit in the first inning. He'll be followed by Geisel and then McKenna if we get that far. But with a leadoff runner on second base, the opportunity is much better than not. Curveball outside corner for a called strike. The 0-1 pitch, changeup, hit in the earth to Artson, but cutting it off is Alvarez, and Alvarez guns it over to first base after taking a look at second base Urbania and making sure that he wasn't going to go anywhere. And we have one out here. Alvarez has been impressive at third base, not impressive running the base paths. It looked like he was pulling a train as he left second base and came around to score in the second inning. But he is doing an outstanding job at third base. Tanner Geisel, the third baseman for the Saguaro up there, he flew out to Bradley Thomas in right field in the first inning to end the inning with a runner on scoring position. So an opportunity now with somebody at scoring position, Urbania, after he got a double off the base of the 405 sign in center field. Outside, nicely blocked by Taveras, keeping the ball in front of him and holding Urbania at second base. No balls and a strike. Infielders pretty much at standard playing position. In left field, Joey Lacuna is rather shallow. Misses low, 2 balls, 2-0. Center fielder Haskins is about straight away, and relatively shallow in right field is Bradley Thomas. So I suspect in both of their minds, Lacuna and Thomas, that if it comes their way, they're going to take a shot at home and try to cut down the run. Runner at second base, double look back there and comes to the plate, rides high for 3-0. Well, quite frankly, were I Zach Carter in this particular position, I would be very reluctant to give Geisel anything to hit. Tanner came in here batting .333, has quite an open stance, looks at the 3-0, and it's the automatic 3-1. Adam Urbania is not a particular threat to steal, although he has grabbed 5 in 7 attempts so far. 3-1 to the batter Geisel. Check back at second. This one hit to the right center field gap, but getting over there is Bradley, but it carries over his head, and it'll go to the wall. That'll score one for the Saguaros, and that will send Geisel into third base, standing up for a triple. It looked for a moment like Bradley Thomas had a shot at it, but all of a sudden the ball seemed to take an extra hop and go up. And Bradley Thomas in right field could not hang on to it. So a runner is in for the Saguaros. They are now down by a count of 2-1. And an RBI single by Tanner Geisel, and he rests now at third base with Thomas McKenna stepping in. The first and third base side is in. The first pitch is a ball. Shortstop and second base is deep. So apparently if it goes to first or third, it's going to come home, or at least check at third base. And if it goes to the middle infielders with the next pitch inside for a ball, then they are going to go to first and surrender the run. Neither outfielder, Lacuna or Thomas, has moved back very much. And quite frankly, because Bradley Thomas was in close, this one is skied high, but I believe that it'll make the stands. It does. Hits a chair or a seat and bounces back into the infield. More than likely it has a beautiful dent in it, and the pitcher, Carter, went over and tossed it out of play. Had I been he, I would have tried to keep it in play and thrown a curveball off of the dent that was more than likely in the ball from hitting the top of a seat in the stadium. But he played it fair and got it out of play. 2 balls and 1 strike, high and outside, 3-1. Carter went 3-1 to Geisel, the last hitter, who clubbed a triple and got a run across for the Saguaros. This one is swung on and missed, so 3-2 will be the count now. With 1 out, 1 in, and a man on third in the bottom of the 4th inning for the Tucson Saguaros, they are trailing by a count of 2-1. Both games, Thursday night and Friday night, ended up in the Saguaros' favor, 4-3. Swung on and lifted high to the seats on the right side. Maggi gets over there and takes a look at it, and the fans groan a little bit as somebody in the stands misses the catch. The groaning is really not that fair, because a foul ball like that is generally spinning at a very high rate of revolution, and you can put your hands on the ball and not be successful, come away with a bruise or a broken finger. 3-2. Scooped down towards the shortstop. Diving is Artson. Artson throws to first base, but it doesn't get there in time. An outstanding effort by Omar Artson, the shortstop, but it was not enough, and it'll be a base hit for Thomas McKenna and a run batted in, as tying up the game and coming down from third is Tanner Geisel, who was there on a triple. So we've got a brand new ball game going here in the bottom of the 4th inning, with Thomas McKenna getting a seeing eye base hit between third and short. The throw over to first base to try to catch McKenna napping does not work. Burnell Daly is the hitter. Burnell struck out in the 2nd inning. Thomas McKenna has taken off 10 times and been successful on 9 occasions. Curveball on the outside corner is a called strike. So we will keep an eye on Mr. McKenna, as he has stolen 9 out of 10 attempts. Doesn't go. Slow curve misses outside. 1-1. Well, you'd think that Thomas or Bradley Thomas in right field would have learned from the triple that carried over his head, but he's still playing rather short in right field. Pitch to the plate, slow curve this time, swung on and missed. 1-2 will be the count. Burnell Daly started the evening with a .293 batting average. He struck out, as I mentioned, in the second inning. Keeping an eye on McKenna. Big secondary lead. The ball swung on and hit down to Artson, who goes to second base for the first out, and they don't get them at first base, so the double play attempt not successful, but the second out of the inning is recorded at second base, 6-4. Might have been nice if McKenna had been going, because that might have taken it out of the double play. Tommy Lyons comes in with a runner on first base and 2 out. I'm sure Tommy would love to have that throw into left field back that created the second run for the Santa Fe club. And he could certainly help out here with a base hit. He steps in there batting .250, but did fly out to right field in the second inning, swings at a high fastball and misses it. 0-1 the count. Daly is a threat to go at first base, although he got thrown out last night. Has been successful in 9 of 13 attempts. Gets a great first step in the outfield. Let's see if he gets a great first step and tries to make it to second base here. Fastball down low. 1-1. All tied up here with the Saguaros counting 2 in the bottom of the fourth inning, and we're a 2-2 tie here with 2 outs in the fourth and a runner on first. 1-1 pitch. Change up low. 3-1. Check that. 2-1. Having trouble counting tonight. My goodness. Lazy wind blowing from the left corner to the right corner. Not a particular factor here, as Bradley Thomas has moved a little bit deeper in right field. This one on the knees for a called strike. 2-2. If Tommy was not the 8th hitter and the pitcher the 9th hitter, this might be a good time to save an at-bat and have Daly go. We'll see how they play it. Generally, you would not do it in this particular situation. Daly stays at first, the ball in the dirt, and nicely blocked by Chris Taveras. And once again in this inning, we'll go to a 3-2 count. 3-2 to Geisel, and he got a triple. 3-2 to McKenna, and he got a run-scoring base hit. So 3-2 to Lyons, and we'll see if the Saguaros can do something about it. At the set as Carter checks first, comes 3-2, swung on and fouled at the plate. Also with 2 strikes and a 3-2 count with 2 outs, obviously Daly is going to be on the move with the pitch. And that gives Tucson an advantage if Tommy Lyons, the catcher, can get it out into the outfield. The fleet-footed Daly might just be able to get all the way around. 3-2 inside, ball 4. So a runner in scoring position is Burnell Daly with excellent speed. And coming up to bat is the pitcher Brian Lubeck. Lubeck grounded out to Omar Artson at shortstop in the third inning in a 3-up, 3-down inning. But the Saguaros here in the bottom of the fourth have done more than 3-up, 3-down. They've plated 2 on a double, a triple, and a single. Now a walk has players at first and second. First pitch is a strike on the outside corner. At the set, 0-1, misses low and inside. 1-1. taking a long time. Now Carter asking for the signs to be recycled once again. A check back at second. Comes to the plate, misses way outside, and Taveras does a good job of getting out there and getting it. 2-1 is the count. The 3 hits in this inning have more than doubled the total that the Saguaros had up to this point. They had only gotten 2 hits off of Carter up until this inning. This one swung on and hit down towards Alvarez. Alvarez will go to first base high, and it's dropped. Joseph Maggi just kind of halfway went up after it. He had his foot on the bag, and it looked like he looked away. And it will be an error on the first baseman. The bases are loaded as the ball did not dribble that far away from Maggi to be able to allow a further advance by Daly. Yes, I know, farther. All right, to the top of the order, this is Michael Morris. He's 0 for 2, but he's been 0 for 2 and 0 for 3 in the last 2 games and come in there and gotten a base hit in his last 2 times at bat. So let's see if he can work that. This one is fouled off into the stands on the left side. Bases loaded, 2 outs, bottom of the 4th, 2 runs in, bases loaded. Michael Morris up. Ball very high, 1-1 count. Morris entered the game batting .392. And I tell you what, if the ball gets anywhere near being away from Chris Taveras, the fleet-footed Burnell Daly at third base will certainly make him pay for it. That one blocked nicely by Taveras, and the count goes to 2-1. Still a relatively warm evening in Tucson. That means the ball could carry rather well. 2-1 pitch, fouled off to the left side. Hope somebody wasn't coming out of the bathroom on the left field side because they've been greeted with the ball right in their snoot. I think it went in the door or the alcove of the ladies' restroom down the left field side. That would be a rude awakening. This one fouled off in the same general direction, this time off the wall. And a couple of pedestrians in the area kind of ducked and covered at the time. 2-2 the count. So the batter's number is 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. So we have 4 of a kind on the board with 2 runs in for the Saguaros here in the 4th inning. In the dirt, blocked by Taveras. And once again, Zach Carter will work a 3-2 count. The Fuego have a pitcher up and warming in their bullpen out in right field. A little tough to see there, but we'll try to pick up who it is. The runners are going. Swung on and fouled off once again. So this will be the 8th pitch of this at-bat. And if Michael Morris, who is generally pretty productive with the bat, can get something out in the outfield with the runners going, it is going to mean that the Saguaros will step into the lead. 3-2, everybody's running. Popped up, short left field. Artson over to get it. And he is called off by Alvarez, and that will end the inning with the bases loaded and a golden opportunity for the Saguaros to get more than just the 2 that they wound up with. 8 batters came to the plate that inning for the Saguaros. And they did count 2. So we are 2-2 here at the end of 4 innings of play. Well, Zach Carter had thrown 37 pitches through the 3 innings of work, but the 4th inning he probably threw close to 33 or 37 in that inning. We'll check it out here. Well, I was not too far off. He threw 39 pitches in that inning. So he is up to 76 pitches. Three hits in the inning for 5 total. Fortunately, the error by the first baseman did not wind up costing the Saguaros, or check that, the Fuego, anything more. A run-scoring triple by Tanner Geisel, a base hit, and a run scored for Thomas McKenna. And that accounted for the 2 runs here in the bottom of the 4th inning. We go to the top of the 5th. And Brian Lubeck will be out to go for the 5th inning here, as he's gotten a new life as the score is tied 2-2. Up to the top of the order for the Fuego, Artson stepping in. He's 1 for 2, was robbed by Daly in center field as the first batter in the game. He'll be followed by Matt Haskins and Louis Martini. First pitch belted into left field. That was a no-doubter. The very tall Tanner Geisel almost got up to get it, but that will be the leadoff runner on. And generally, you're a little worried when the leadoff runner gets on. Artson was the leadoff hitter in the 3rd inning, and he got on. But he was erased at second base on a Geisel to Devon Poole toss. And then Lubeck got out of it. Next hitter is Matt Haskins. Haskins has had a very successful series here as he looks at the first pitch in for a called strike. Matt is 5 for 7 over the first 2 games. He's 0 for 2 here, though. And the 0-1 pitch set to go. Outside, backhanded stab by Tommy Lyons, the catcher, and holds the runner at first base. Omar Artson has taken off twice and stolen the base, has not been caught as yet, does not have a particularly long lead at first base. Off-speed pitch in the outside corner, swung on and missed. 1 ball and 2 strikes, nobody out here in the top of the 5th inning with a runner on. Wind is picked up ever so slightly, still going from the left corner to the right corner at Kino Stadium. Pitch in the dirt, Lyons gets over and scoops it up. No advance by the runner. Two count. Runner on first. Artson stays there. Pitch is outside, and we'll look at a 3-2. It'd be interesting to see if Omar takes off from first base. Three-two. Didn't look it back at the runner. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. Threw him a changeup. But Lubeck is a little lax on checking the runner at first base, as Bradley Thomas took off and was 3/4 of the way to the bag by the time the catcher Lyons got a hold of the ball. That was back in the 4th inning. And as a result of that, Bradley Thomas came around and scored the 2nd run for the Fuego. And that's where we stand right now, 2-2 tie, as the Saguaros answered back in the bottom of the 4th inning. Louis Martini coming up there. He's 0 for 2, grounded out to Morris in the 1st inning. Looks at that curveball at the knees for a called strike. He got on catcher's interference in the 3rd inning and stayed at first base as Lubeck got one of his 3 strikeouts, now 4, to end the 3rd inning. Swung on and missed on a low fastball. So after going 3-2 to Haskins, 0-2 to Martini now. Lewis playing second base tonight. Keeping an eye on Artson at first, makes no move to take off, and the waste pitch, W-A-S-T-E, was way outside. With an 0-2 count, you certainly don't want to throw a waste, W-A-I-S-T pitch, because a good hitter will make you pay for it. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Curveball misses that front corner, and we go to deuces. 2-2, 1 out. Top of the 5th inning, scored tied at 2-2. Chris Taveras in the on-deck circle. Dangerous hitter, although he's had his struggles here in the series at Kino. This one hit down to Geisel and passed him into left field. Boy, Tanner plays a long way off that line. Had he been playing in essentially what would be a standard third base position, he would have picked that off without too much trouble, but Tanner prefers to play deep and in without regard to whether it's a right-hander or a left-hander, as the big man from Los Angeles State University kind of kicking the dirt that he didn't get a hold of that one, and we're going to have a little conference at the mound out there. While they're having a little visit, going to mention if you're in the Tucson area, going to have a fine 4th of July ball game and fireworks display. So hope that you join us for that. Really appreciate the folks watching tonight. Hopefully we have some folks from Santa Fe. Did have a nice little note. I was chastising Kevin Alvarez for being a little bit slow coming from second base around to score. He did make it, but unaware was I that he is hobbling a little bit. Certainly has not shown it in his outstanding play at third base. Check back of the runner, and to the plate on the outside corner for Taveras, and he is in the hole 0-1. Chris has really struggled. The first time he came into town, he just wore out Tucson pitching. 0 for 8 heading into this game, and he's 0 for 2, so a donut in 10 for Mr. Taveras, but certainly not somebody to be taken particularly lightly, because he's got 5 home runs to his credit and several doubles. Runners going, swung on and missed, and Lyons throws it into left field once again. So the hit and run was on, and Taveras missed the pitch. Lyons came up and threw high to third base, and this is now the second time that Lyons has committed an error, and a run has scored as a result of it. So give Artson credit for a stolen base and then an error to the catcher, resulting in the run. Moving all the way around to third is Martini, the pitch way outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Next one is way outside, and we go to 2-2. Sometimes something like that happening can shake up a pitcher, and so Lubeck has thrown 2 balls in a row. This one is popped up to the right field. McKenna having to drift back relatively deep to get it, and this will score Martini from third base, and right away the Santa Fe Fuego have answered back the 2 runs that they lost out on last inning. So Taveras gets his bat on the ball and sends it to right field for a sac fly. It is the second out of the inning and clears the bases, but what it accomplishes is another run scored, and Santa Fe now up 4-2 after surrendering their 2-0 lead. Lubeck called strike. This is Mr. Alvarez. Got on catcher's interference in the second inning and flew out to the center fielder Daly as he swings and sends one into the right field stands for a second strike. Kevin came into the game batting .338. Kind of interesting, manager T.J. Zarwitz placing three batters at the bottom of the order that are batting over .300, that being Alvarez, Thomas, and Lacuna. But Alvarez is in a hole, 0-2. Very open stance for Kevin. And reaches out and does control that outside corner, but dribbles it down to first base. And Ryan Retz will get a hold of it for the third out of the inning. But for the Saguaros, they coughed up the 2 runs that they got ahead in the fourth inning, and they now trail 4-2. Coming to bat in the bottom of the fifth. Watching. By the way, if you're near a laptop or even a handheld here, we do have the chat line open. And I'm glad that we do, because found out the situation on Mr. Alvarez. Certainly appreciate you being with us, and if you feel so inclined, would also appreciate the opportunity to have you subscribe. By the way, the Arizona Wildcats in college baseball won their series against Mississippi State, winning the game today 6-5. They won the first game 1-0, and the Cats will be going to Omaha, Nebraska for the College World Series, so congratulations to them. Devon Poole up there came into the game batting .347, lined out to Thomas in the right field in the first inning, struck out in the third, looks at a changeup high for a ball. Carter out there for his fifth inning of work, starts the inning with 76 pitches overall. This one swung on and lifted high on the right side. Manji is back on the grass and picks it off, so pop up to the first baseman will create the first out of the bottom of the fifth inning.
Left fielder number 11, Adam Urbania.
Adam Urbania, who has certainly shown some outstanding abilities in left field, stepping up there with a couple of doubles here. He came into the game batting .450, so the batting average will advance a little bit. In the fourth inning, had a leadoff double. This one he is wrapped towards first base. It is picked off by Martini, and over to cover is Carter in a textbook job there. Diving for the ball was Manji, coming off of first base, and of course that took him out of the situation. But rotating to his left was Martini, grabbed the ball, and Carter, the pitcher, very alertly got over there, and they got him on a bang-bang play for the second out of the fifth inning. Ryan Retz got a base hit in the first inning and grounded out to Alvarez in the fourth. Without regard to Alvarez having a little problem with his hip, he's done a great job moving to his left and cutting off slow pitches or slow batted balls towards the shortstop, and that's exactly what he's supposed to do. First pitch is a ball. Next one is fouled off, just caught it at the end of the bat, 1 ball and 1 strike. We're in the fifth inning, the bottom of it to be more specific, nobody on and a couple of outs. Slow curve swung on and belted to left field. Lacuna is back to look at it, and it goes into the bullpen in left field for a home run for Ryan Retz. So Ryan has certainly come out of his slump, as Ryan was 2 for 3 on Thursday, 1 for 4 last night, and now a single in the first inning and a home run here in the 5th inning. So the Saguaros get at least one of the 2 runs that they surrendered in the top of the inning. That is the 3rd home run on the season for Mr. Retz. And Tanner Geisel will come up there. Tanner got a triple right to the base of the wall at 4:05 in dead center field. The home run for Retz, as he looks at, Geisel looks at a called strike. The home run for Retz, we'll estimate, probably was about 375 feet. It went out to the left of the 375 sign, but it hit against that back wall, which I suspect is another 10 yards. So that's why we're going to give it to him at 375. The ball went a little bit to the left of that. Next pitch is a ball, and our count to Tanner Geisel, the third baseman for the Saguaros, is even at 1-1. Couple of outs here, but a home run has put 1 run on the board. Changeup hit high to right center field, but Haskins pretty much has a bead on it and gets a hold of it for the last out of the inning. But not before 1 run comes over. 1 run on 1 hit. And after 5 full innings of play, it is Santa Fe 4 and Tucson 3. Well, Carter, the pitcher, went from 39 pitches in the 4th inning to just 9 pitches here in the 5th. But that runs his total up to 85 and runs the hit total up to 6. Thank you for responding to our request to subscribe to the channel, as we saw our number boost a little bit, as the Saguaros will be bringing in a relief pitcher in place of Brian Lubeck, and because they run in from the left field bullpen, they're coming right at us, and we don't get a chance to see a number. If he picks up the ball and turns around, it is number 5. And number 5 for the Saguaros is Michael Rampone. Rampone is listed as a second baseman, but we were told by the manager tonight that he would be pitching a little bit, and he is in fact stepping in there to pitch. Michael had a heck of an evening last night at the bat. He was 2 for 4. Michael out of Randolph, New Jersey, went to New Jersey Tech as a finance major. Favorite team, the New York Yankees, and you can have 3 guesses and probably get it right all 3 times as to his favorite player. Derek Jeter also likes the New York Jets and has a particular fondness for a longtime retired player, Joe Namath. Oh, Broadway Joe, what a character he was. Holy cow. So Michael Rampone will come in there and pick up for Lubeck. Lubeck went 5 full innings, gave up 4 runs. Got 4 strikeouts, gave up 1 walk. Michael has gotten in as a pitcher for a couple of games, has gone 2 2/3 innings, giving up 1 earned run, so his earned run average is 3.37. So we'll see what a second baseman has as a pitcher. Michael had to leave the team for a couple of weeks there for a personal problem. But boy, when he came back ready to go. And now has an opportunity to show his stuff on the mound. Well, the score is a direct reverse of what it was the last two nights. 4-3 the last two nights in favor of Tucson, but this time it is Santa Fe up 4-3. It'll be the 6th, 7th, and 8th hitter in the order. Joseph Manji, Bradley Thomas, and Joey Lacuna. Lacuna is the one that had the opportunity to watch the Ryan Retz home run sail into the bullpen behind him in left field. So we'll see how things work out here on the top of the 6th inning. Joseph Manji stepping in, lined out to left field. This time he tries to bunt, bunts foul down the third base side. I've mentioned before that the left fielder for the Saguaro, Adam Urbania, has done an outstanding job defensively, and he did just that against Manji in the second inning. And then Joseph grounded out to the second baseman, Devon Poole, in the fourth. So here we are in the top of the 6th inning. No balls and one strike. Pitch is outside. One ball and one strike to the 7th hitter in the Fuego lineup. Rampone to the plate, swung on and hit out to Poole at second. He will pick it up and get it over to Retz for the first out at the top of the 6th inning. Rampone had his pitching opportunities on the road. We have yet to have seen him on the mound here at Kino Veterans Memorial Stadium, where on July the 4th you'll be treated to not only a ball game but a fireworks display. So if you're in the Tucson area, we'd invite you to come out here. Geisel is still well off the bag, and Bradley Thomas tries to bunt as he has on numerous occasions. Even though it looked like he offered at it, they call it a ball. So 1 ball and no strikes as Geisel will slowly begin to move towards the grass and now picks up his pace a little bit just in case Thomas decides to try to lay one down again. Second pitch is down and in for a ball. One pitch, squares around to bunt and lets it go, and it goes 3-0. That was my mistake. It was not 1-1 right there. It was 2-0, and now it moves out to 3-0. Bradley in the 7th spot comes in here batting .333 and takes the automatic for a 3-1 count. Fairly decent number of fans in the stands tonight compared to what we've been doing prior to this, as the word slowly gets around that the Saguaros are here and being successful. Pitch is down low for a ball, and we'll have a base runner with 1 out in the top of the 6th inning. Joey Lacuna coming up, and he is 2 for 2 tonight. Joey was 2 for 4 on Thursday and 1 for 4 last night, 3 for 8. So now with his 2 for 2, he has 5 hits and 10 times at bat. I don't care how you slice it. That's 500, and that's doing some serious stuff. Run on first, 1 out, top of the 6th inning. 4-3 in favor of Santa Fe. 9th hitter in the lineup. But he has 2 hits and 2 times at bat and has had a nice series here with the bat. Swung on, hit right down the line to left field and was hit very sharply. So Adam Urbania was over there very quickly and got it back into the infield, and that will put runners on first and second. And it's still rather surprising to me that Geisel plays that far off the line, because playing a little bit closer to the line would have put him in a much better position to be able to snag that ball, even if he had to go to his backhand side. Up there to bunt is the pitcher, Carter. We are assuming he is going to work on a bunt. Swings away, however. Carter flew out to left field on a fine play by Urbania back in the second inning, grounded out to Poole in the fourth, swings at the first pitch on something that we were almost certain he'd be bunting. 0-1 pitch set to go. Check of the runner at second base and comes to the plate. Swung on and fouled straight back here. Hits just to the right of me. If I'd had a large net, I probably could have snagged that one. Maybe 5 feet to the left side, and I'd had it right in my nose and wouldn't have to worry about a net or anything. But, of course, I'm so brave I'd have probably been under the counter and not gone after the ball. 0-2 count, runners on first and second and one out here in the top of the sixth inning. Look at second base as they're back there harassing Bradley Thomas, and this one catches the corner for a called strike three. Very important strikeout, and the first strikeout for Rampone, who opened up this inning in relief of Brian Lubeck. Lubeck giving up 4 runs over his 5 innings of work. Got 4 strikeouts, gave up 1 walk. But right now, the 4 runs are putting the Saguaros in a 1-run deficit, 4-3. Major conference at the mound. Trying to decide who they're going to vote for in the upcoming election. No, I won't go there. Pretty funny cartoon, though, on the internet the other day, showing a cow looking at either the Democratic side or the Republican side, deciding which one to go through, and the slaughterhouse was on the other side of both of them, so it didn't matter. Runners at first and second, 2 outs, and the top of the order to Omar Artson. Artson got a base hit and came around to score in the 5th inning. Rampone looking a long time at Thomas, and the batter, Artson, called timeout, so the pitch does not count. Nine times out of 10, the umpire will give the batter the call on that timeout. Every now and then they don't, and the pitch that did come in might have been a strike. So no pitch to Artson at this time. Comes to the plate, changeup hit down to Geisel at third, and it is called a foul ball. So we'll come back with no balls and 1 strike to the leadoff hitter. He was the first batter up in the game, and probably back on his locker has a picture of Burnell Daly with daggers all through it. Daly robbed him. Omar got a base hit in the 3rd inning and then a base hit in the 5th, so he's been pretty productive tonight. Scored a run in the 5th. No balls and a strike against a right-hand hitting shortstop. To the plate is Rampone. Blocked outside, and the count is 1-1. Omar was in a pinch hit role on Thursday and was out. Then he went 0 for 4 on Friday. So 0 for 5 has been turned into a 2 for 3 outing tonight. A little redemption for the shortstop. Long look at the mound for Rampone, who started as a relief pitcher this inning. Throws the pitch on a breaking pitch and catches that outside corner. Will go 1-2. 2 on, 2 out, top of the 6th inning. Nobody in. On-deck hitter is Matt Haskins, and you'd prefer not to have him come up with people in scoring position, although he has not been particularly successful tonight, going 0 for 3. This is the guy you need to get, as he's had a bit of a hot bath this evening. To the plate, swung on, pounded towards Morris at shortstop, goes the short way to second, and that will end the inning. Nobody across for Santa Fe in the top of the 6th inning. They still have 4 on the board to 3 for Tucson, as Tucson will be coming up here in the bottom of the 6th inning, and we'll be looking at 6, 7, and 8 in the batting order. Rampone is in relief of Lubeck. Lubeck had tossed 99 pitches through his 5 innings and giving up 4 runs, striking out 4 and walking 1. So we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Last couple of days it's been nearly double vision on Thursday and Friday. Tucson fell behind early, used 3-run innings, gave back a run late, but won 4-3 both times. Cameron Cox got the win by going 8 innings, giving up 2 runs on 7 hits, hitting a batter in the first, but giving up no walks the rest of the way. Robbie Romero recorded the save. It was his first and helped Cox to his 3rd win of the season against 2 defeats, and dropping Cox's ERA by a full run per 9 innings. Catcher Jesse Baker helped the cause by getting 2 RBI from his 2 hits. Also gathering a couple of safeties on the night were the pitcher Cox, helping his own cause, and second baseman Michael Rampone, who is now in pitching for the Saguaros, who returned to the team after a 2-week absence by banging out a couple of doubles. So stepping up is McKenna. McKenna is 1 for 2 tonight. Unassisted put out to Manji at first base in the 2nd inning. And then he got an RBI single in the 4th. First pitch is a called strike. Still on the mound for the Saguaros, check that for the Santa Fe Fuego. And throwing the second pitch to McKenna as a ball is Zach Carter. Carter has given up 3 runs tonight. The last one he gave up was a booming home run to left field by Ryan Retz. Next pitch is missed. 3 balls. Check that, 2 balls and a strike. Carter set to go. Down low, and it's 3-1. Tucson got a runner on to lead off the inning in the 4th and made the most of it. So now with an opportunity, hopefully, to get a runner on, the first runner of the inning. This one popped sky high. That's a big league pop-up. Manji come in and takes it for the pop out, which is exactly what should have happened. Chris Taveras was closest to it, but the catcher always has so much more equipment and much less mobility that you'd rather have your first or third baseman take the pop-up like that, and Joseph Manji took charge. We could hear him calling for it all the way up here. Vernell Daly, coming into the game batting .293, struck out in the 2nd inning and got on a fielder's choice in the 4th. Looks at the first one, a called strike. Next pitch misses, and it's 1-1. Carter, giving up his 3 runs, have gotten only 2 strikeouts, did give up 1 walk. This one lifted foul down the right field side, and it'll make the seats, although Bradley Thomas took a long, hard look at it. 1 ball and 2 strikes now. Through 5 full innings of play, Carter has racked up 85 pitches, which is not too bad, given up 6 hits so far. 1-2 pitch set on the way, floats high and will even them up. Only 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th on a sky-high pop-up by Thomas McKenna. Brunell Daly 2-2. Slow curve swung on and missed, and that'll be the 2nd out of the inning. That one kind of up in his eyeballs. Tommy Lyons, the catcher, walked his last time up and flew out to the right fielder Bradley Thomas. Well, they're going to pinch hit for him. So stepping in to pinch hit for Lyons will be Jesse Baker. Jesse is also a catcher, so we would assume that he would take over behind the plate. Right-hander against right-hander. 2 outs, a slow curve gets in there for a called strike. Jesse was 2 for 4 last night. On Thursday night, he was 1 for 2, so batting .500, not too shabby. Looks at that slow curve and hits it high and long to left field. Lacuna back to the warning track and misses it. It bounces into the dugout, and it'll be a ground rule double. Well, Lacuna was kind of dancing around out there right at the warning track, and all of a sudden he took one more step towards the foul line, and the ball fell behind him, bounced off of the warning track and into the dugout in left field. So credit Jesse Baker with a 2-out double and a runner in scoring position. And it looks like coming up there with a bat in his hand is Lupke, but not too certain what the deal is here. Rampone is the pitcher of record. Oh, no, this is very interesting. Oh, they've moved Brian to second base for the Saguaros. And he is up and batting in his position here. Interesting move on the part of the Saguaros. So Lupke got on an error by the first baseman, looks at the first pitch as a strike. They have walkie-talkie communication to the PA booth, but we don't have the luxury of that here. Next pitch swung on and fouled at the plate, so right away Brian is down 0-2. Brian grounded out to the shortstop Artson in the 3rd inning and got on an error by the first baseman Manji in the 4th, in which the Saguaros scored 2. They came back with 1 more in the 5th inning. This pitch is way outside, and the count will be 1-2. Runner in scoring position is Jesse Baker, who got a double on what would be considered a misplayed fly ball in left field. This one just misses outside on the breaking pitch, and it evens up at 2. Set to go, looking back at second base, wrapped straight up the middle. It's hit pretty hard, so I don't know if they're going to send him. They are. The plate is way off line, and the Saguaros score to tie it up. The ball was hit very well by Brian Lubeck, straight away to center field. Matt Haskins does not have the greatest of arms as a center fielder, and they went ahead and sent Baker around from second base, and he scored with the throw well up the third baseline and offline. So a run in, and we're all tied up, and the left-handed hitting Michael Morris is up there. Checks, swings, and is called a strike anyway. Morris struggling a little bit at the plate tonight, although he did line out to the third baseman Alvarez in the third inning. Grounded out to Kevin in the first inning. This one hit slowly down the first baseline and foul. So right away, Michael Morris is behind 0-2. He ran the count full in the fourth inning with runners on, bases loaded as a matter of fact, and then popped out to Alvarez at third and left three men on, two in scoring position. So 0-2 to Michael Morris. He came into the game batting .392. Pitch is swung on and hit towards Martini at second. He fumbles it, but picks it up and gets it over to first. So that will be the third out of the inning, but we are starting the game all over, so to speak, with one run in for the Tucson Saguaros, and we're all knotted up at 4-4. "20 pitches that inning for Carter. Kind of interesting. He's gone 39 pitches in the fourth inning, down to 9 pitches in the fifth, and back up to 20 pitches in the sixth inning. They have had somebody throwing in the bullpen out there, and with the 20 pitches this inning, that takes Carter up to 105 pitches so far. He's given up a total of 8 base hits and 4 runs. Had a question about our road games, and unfortunately coming into the situation much later than normal to start a season, we have not gotten things together to be able to do the road games as yet. In a perfect world, it would be wonderful to have every club with a home play-by-play on their own YouTube channel, to where when your club is out of town, you're able to see what's going on and hear what's going on. But with an independent league, finances are relatively tight, and therefore road games are infrequently, if ever, done. I know that Roswell sends somebody on the road, but that is the only team out of the 10 in the Pecos League. We would like to be able to get road games. It makes sense that you'd want to have your road games, because if people are at home, they should be at the ballpark here. Wouldn't you agree? Well, at least management would think that way. Okay, Mr. Baker is now behind the plate for the Saguaros, which is his normal position. As Jesse came in and got that double and then came around to score when Brian Lubeck hit one into the outfield. First pitch gets really away from the pitcher. In for his second inning of work is Michael Rampone. He took over last inning from Brian Lubeck, who moved to second base. Next pitch is also high, and to Matt Haskins, who is 0 for 3. Rampone is behind 2-0. Couple of strikeouts and a flyout for Mr. Haskins tonight. Pitch swung on and hit down to Geisel at third. He's up with it, and the throw across the infield gets the 5-3 out on a 2-0 pitch. Top of the seventh inning with Luis Martini coming up. Martini got a base hit, stole second, and then on a double steal headed towards third. came home on the throwing error by the catcher Tommy Lyons trying to catch him at third. So 1 for 3 for Louis tonight. Nobody on and 1 out here in the top of the 7th. Louis has gotten a base hit in each of the 2 games, and now the 3rd game he has a base hit, so base hit in each of the ball games. He was 1 for 4 on Thursday, 1 for 3 yesterday. So he's now 3 for 10 at even 300 for the series. Came into this ball game batting .316, so that's going to drop just a skosh. Rampone to the plate. Faking a bunt is Martini, but does not commit to it. And once again, Rampone is behind 2 balls and no strikes. The New Jersey right-hander comes to the plate and catches that outside corner for a called strike. I notice that our transmission hiccups every now and then. My apologies for that. Not exactly sure what's causing it. We're on a hot spot on a telephone here, wrapped into left center field, and that will get down for a base hit. Quickly over to get it is Urbania, and he does not get it in quite fast enough, and the fleet-footed Martini runs it into a double. Runner in scoring position now with 1 out here in the top of the 7th inning. Chris Taveras will be coming up. Taveras got a sacrifice fly to Thomas McKenna in right field in the 5th inning, but prior to that he struck out twice. But this young man is not to be taken lightly, as he has 5 home runs on the season. We're all knotted up at 4-4, but that could quickly change with the light air, and now the wind has swung around and is blowing out towards left field. This one fouled off into the stands on the right side. Well, the last 2 evenings, the breeze has been from the left field corner to the right field corner, and that's the way things started out. But now it is blowing almost directly over the top of the stands and straight out to left field. So getting the ball up into the wind stream there might aid Taveras as he looks at an 0-1 pitch. Misses outside, 1-1. Taveras is from Brooklyn, New York. Played for a Baptist college back in that area. Unique pronunciation that I won't attempt. Look at second, comes to the plate, on the knees for a called strike. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Behind the plate tonight, Sean Holloway, and out on the bases is Cam Couture. Cam with a big knee brace on. Hit a wet spot yesterday after the rain delay and went down, twisting that knee, which has been a problem in the past. High curveball misses, even it up at 2. But to his great credit, got it wrapped, took a couple of Tylenol and went right back out there. And then they went to his car and got a hold of the knee brace that he apparently carries around all the time. And that's how he's wrapped up tonight. Outside, 3-2. 1 out in the top of the 7th. The double has put Luis Martini on second base in scoring position. Chris Taveras up there with 1 out and a full count. First base is open, so Rampone does not have to give in to him. I'm thinking a breaking pitch that starts on the plate and spins out of the strike zone. We'll see what he uses. Fastball fisted into left center field, and that'll score a run. Martini around third and into home, and Taveras with his first hit of the series gets a RBI single and pushes Santa Fe back into the lead as Martini comes around from second base and scores the go-ahead run. Up until that base hit, Taveras had been 0 for 11 in the series. That'll bring up Kevin Alvarez. Alvarez got on catcher's interference in the second, flew out to center in the fourth, and grounded out to Retz at first base in the fifth inning. First pitch to him is low and blocked nicely by Jesse Baker. So a one-out run in on a double and a single. Eight hits so far for the Fuego. Next pitch is outside, and Rampone is flirting with disaster as he has gotten behind on all three batters that he's faced, actually now the fourth one. Checks the runner at first, comes to the plate right on the knees for a called strike. Two balls and a strike, one out, top of the seventh, one run in, man on first. On the right-handed hitting Alvarez, Geisel continues to play way off the line. Curveball breaks outside, and 3-1 will be the count. Rampone struggling a little bit with control here. He came in relief of Lubeck in the top of the sixth inning. To the plate, swung on and fouled straight back, which means that Alvarez was right on the pitch. Whenever the ball is fouled straight back, that's exactly what happens. So he was not fooled on the pitch, he just did not get it. Came into the game batting .338, but has gone 0 for 3 here from his fifth position in the batting order. 3-2 pitch. We'll keep an eye on Taveras. I don't think he's going to go high and outside, and it's a walk. Pitcher is up in the Saguaros bullpen, trying to catch a number there. We need one of those little cameras sitting out there, and they are going to go to the bullpen. Possibly Steven Borkowski, as Rampone comes out. He lasted 1 1/3 innings. Gave up 1 run. Walked 1 and struck out 1. So it looks like Borkowski will pick it up. And it looks like we have a double switch here. As apparently Rampone will go out to play second base. And coming in to pitch for the Saguaros is number 30, Aaron Smith, out of the University of Nebraska, Kearney. Trying to pick up whether Rampone went out to second base or not. I believe that he has. So that will put Rampone at second base. Had a good go of it last night, going 2 for 3 after coming back from being away from the team for some time. Pitcher is number 30, Aaron Smith, and Smith is the third pitcher being employed tonight by the Saguaros, as they currently are down 5-4. Aaron has no wins and 2 losses, an ERA of 6.5 runs per game. He's been in 9 games, 18 innings he's pitched, and given up 28 hits and 13 earned runs. So he gives up an average of 1.6 walks and hits per inning. So that does not bode well for a closer necessarily. but middle inning relief, I guess you're going to go with him. He did have a fine outing last weekend. I believe it was Thursday night against Roswell. Went 3 up, 3 down. So coming in here with a runner on scoring position and a runner on first in the form of Kevin Alvarez. Out at second is Chris Taveras. Taveras, the catcher and first baseman, does not have particularly outstanding speed. And we mentioned earlier that Alvarez is being troubled by a hip flexor. So not much speed on the base paths. Opportunity to turn two here as Joseph Mangi steps in from the left side to the left-handed pitching Aaron Smith. Mangi is 0 for 3, has grounded out twice in a row to whoever was at second base. It was Poole to start with, then Lubeck moved out there, and now Michael Rampone is there. The first pitch is a ball. Mangi did line out sharply to left field in the second inning. 1-0 pitch, misses outside, and right away your relief pitcher is in the hole. Strike, 2 balls and 1 strike. Left-hander against left-hander here, sixth hitter in the order. And he kind of squares to bunt. And the pitch is called a ball. Got some information on a switch in umpire positions, but we are relatively certain that Cam told us earlier that he was on the bases and had that knee brace on. Next pitch is a slow curve in there for a strike, and we'll go 3-2. So Sean Holloway is the home plate umpire, and Cam Couture is out on the bases. Couture racked up his knee a little bit yesterday, but has gamely come out there. This one swung on and hit softly to left field. Urbania coming at it, and a diving catch. Makes an outstanding catch, and he's a little shaken up. Got a fantastic first step, and came down hard on that right shoulder as he reached out with his glove hand, and that is the second outstanding play that has been recorded by Urbania in left field, and that is not untypical of the way this young man has been playing. I think if I were on the bench, I would call a timeout here and go out and see if the young man is okay. He's working that left shoulder. Still, well, it's not the left, it's the right. He's still working it, and nobody has gone out that way. The next hitter is Bradley Thomas, who is a left-hander. There are now 2 outs. Aaron Smith, with a slow curve, catches the knees for a called strike. Just a brilliant play by Urbania in left field, and he's still trying to work that right shoulder out a little bit. The pitch swung on and hit towards the right side and through. That will score a runner from second base as Taveras comes around. Play at the plate, not in time. The throw was just offline on the third base side from McKenna. And that will run the Saguaros, the Fuego ahead, as they have counted now 2 in the top of the 7th inning. So the brilliant, beautiful play in left field to record the second out is negated somewhat, as around to third goes Alvarez. And Bradley Thomas will go get a base hit and move to second on the throw. And Thomas gets a run batted in. And we're going to bring in another new pitcher. So Aaron Smith comes in and tries to record a hold. Fails to do so. And the Fuego get a second run here. They posted 2 in the 5th inning. Now they've got 2 in the 7th inning. And they have busted a 2-2 tie, check that, a 4-4 tie. And we'll try to pick up a number on the pitcher here. Also going to take a look at Adam out in left field. Might be a time for him to throw the ball around a little bit and see if he still has the gun on the right side. Well, if we can get the pitcher to turn just a little bit more, we'll be in business. I can see a 2 and a 2-5, so we will check and see who 2-5 is here. That is Robbie Romero. Romero was in the ball game last night. The run will be credited to Rampone, so he has given up 2 runs, actually 3 total. Santa Fe has racked up a run in the 2nd inning. They got 1 in the 4th, 2 in the 5th, and now they've plated 2 here in the 7th inning. Thank you for being with us this evening. Got folks from around the country checking in. Appreciate that. Nice hello to North Carolina. Understand it's a little bit warm back there. They were talking about a bit of a heat wave. And that was after a tropical storm came into the area, so hopefully you have not been damaged by that. As we will go to the 8th batter in the lineup, Joey Lacuna. But Lacuna is 3 for 3, so he is certainly not someone to be sneezed at, especially with runners on 2nd and 3rd. Alvarez is over on 3rd, and Bradley Thomas, who got the RBI base hit, went around to 2nd base on the throw. Was not quite in time to catch Taveras going home, and the first pitch is a ball. Robbie is 3-0 on the season, has been in 11 games. This one hit towards short. Michael Morris knocks it down, and that's about all he can do. So that will be recorded as a base hit and another RBI. And now the 3rd run of the inning has come in for Santa Fe on the RBI single by Lacuna. Moving over to 3rd will be Bradley Thomas. And that will bring up the pitcher spot, Zach Carter. And apparently they're going to send him out to go to work here in the top of the 7th inning with 3 runs across. Check that they are going to go to a pinch hitter. This is Clayton Blue. Clayton has played the infield a couple of times. Squeeze bunt doesn't work, and they get the out at home. Well, the squeeze play did not work. I'm not exactly sure why you wanted to do a squeeze play with 2 outs, but that's what they chose to do. So unassisted put out to the catcher, and that will bring Zach Carter back up to the batter spot in the top of the 8th inning, unless they pinch hit for him, of course. So 3 runs come across for the Santa Fe Fuego, and they run their total up to 7-4 now. And we will go to the bottom of the 7th inning, and the home half for Tucson will see Poole, Urbania, and Reitz. As we notice, we get a blink every now and then from our online feed, so my apologies. I'm not exactly sure what the deal is on that. And we will have a new pitcher out there for going to give away a few things here while we check on who's out there. Nicholas Carrillo. Well, we don't have anything on Nicholas Carrillo. At least that's what we have on our roster here. But there have been quite a few roster changes for the Fuego, as they have only won 5 games on the year, and a lot of times you'll go looking for somebody to get in there. Also have had a management change. And now managing as a player as well is T.J. Zarwitz. Well, we got Rosario as 125, and we have Nicholas Carrillo as another 25. So we had this confusion last night because Cazzaro was also number 15, so 15 or 25. However you shake it out, I would doubt very seriously if it is Harold Rosario. So we're going to go with Nicholas Carrillo, unless somebody knows something different. To the plate, strike. So at the plate is number 5 for the Saguaros, and that is Michael Rampone. Rampone came in as a relief pitcher. This time he rattles one into the dugout, and it went right through the dugout door or opening in the gate. 1 ball and 2 strikes against for Rampone. As when he came out as a pitcher, he went to second base, which is one of his normal playing positions. 1-2 pitch on the way. Low. 2-2. Tucson trying to answer back against the 3 runs that they gave up on the top of the 7th inning. Right now our score is 7-4 in favor of Santa Fe. Second, third, and fourth positions in the batting order coming up. Rampone lifts one high to right field, dropping back for it is Bradley Thomas, and then over to the line, and he flies out for the first out of the inning. Adam Urbania is up there. Urbania has a couple of doubles, and then he grounded out to Martini at second base. He'll be followed by Retz, and Retz is the one that got the 2-out home run in the 5th inning to bring the Saguaros to within 1. Then in the 6th inning, a double by Baker and a base hit by Lubeck tied it up at 4, but then it got away from the Saguaros in the top of the 7th inning. 3 runs came across. The first pitch is a ball. Urbania from the left side skies one to short center field. Going out to get it is Artson. He is called off on the play by the center fielder Haskins, which is exactly how that should work. Second out of the inning. Ryan is up there. He's pushed his batting average back up over 300 after a nice homestand here. From the right side will be facing the right-hander Carrillo. Kind of an odd changeup, floats high for a ball. One 0 pitch, curveball into the dirt, so it's 2-0. Retz was 2 for 3 on Thursday, 1 for 4 yesterday. Six for 10 on the homestand. I'll take that any day of the week. Swung on and hit towards Martini at second. Lewis is up with it and gets the 1-2-3 out there. Nada, nada, nada. And so the Saguaros unable to answer back here, as they will go to the 8th and 9th inning right now behind 7-4 in the inning. Only 10 pitches thrown by Carrillo. He is in relief of Zach Carter. Carter threw 105 pitches, had given up 4 runs, struck out 4, gave up 8 base hits, walked 1 in his 6 innings of work. Well, Clayton Ballou was at the plate when they tried an ill-timed squeeze play with 2 outs. So it'll remain to be seen whether he's going to come up again or not. Doesn't look like it. Well, Artson is out on deck. So we'll see what the story is here. If Artson comes up to hit, in my opinion, it would be an automatic out, because I believe that Ballou is supposed to be up there. Here he comes out of the dugout. No, it is not. It's the pitcher, Carrillo. So Carrillo will come in and bat for himself. We don't have any statistics on Nicholas. Well, the PA keeps calling it Rosario. I know that Rosario is 15. We had Rosario down as 25, but both were H. Rosarios. The first pitch is a ball outside. So Ballou, having been announced in the game, will not be available for any more pinch hitting. Curveball in there for a strike. Geisel at third, Morris at short, Rampone at second base, and Retz at first. Inside for a ball, 2-1. Called strike. 2-2. So far, Saguaro pitchers have given up 10 hits. This one swung on and fouled right at the plate. So as a manager, you like to have your pitcher up there at least swinging the bat. Even if he closes his eyes, you got a chance. 7 runs, 10 hits, and 1 error for the Fuego. 4 runs for the Saguaro as the ball misses inside, and you go full count to the pitcher. Oh well. Tucson has gotten 8 hits. This one swung on and hit out towards Rampone at second. Picks it up and gets it to first base for the 4-3 out. Going to go to the top of the order. Omar Artson got a couple of hits and 4 times at bat. Got a base hit and scored a run in the 5th inning. Got a base hit in the 3rd and was erased at second base. Flew out to Burnell Daly in center field on a sparkling play turned in by Daly. And the last time up, he was on a fielder's choice. Looks at the first pitch, a call strike. Weekly swung on and fouled off to the right side, so right away Artson is down 0-2. These two hits that Omar has gotten in this ball game are the first two hits that he's gotten in the series. So he is 2 for 9 on the series. 3-2, misses outside. Well, I must have missed a count somewhere along the line. Oh, that was, excuse me, all the heck, that was 0-2. Now we go 1-2. Looking at the wrong box on my scorecard. This one swung on and missed, fouled at the plate, so he'll save himself and have another chance. Will Omar Artson, the shortstop for the Fuego. Came into the ballgame batting .208 with a 2 for 4, even a 2 for 5 night. If he doesn't get on this time, we'll raise that batting average up a little bit. 1-2 pitch, swung on and hit towards Geisel. Geisel takes the big hop and fires over to first base, so that will be the second out of this, the top of the 8th inning, and bring up Matt Haskins. Haskins had trouble tonight. He's 0 for 4. Matt was on a roll. He was 5 for 7 after the first two games, but he kind of hit the brakes tonight with a called third strike in the first inning, flew out to Daly in center field in the third, struck out in the fifth, and grounded out to Geisel in the 7th inning, swung on and missed for a strike. At the set, to the plate, half swing, going to look at first base, called strike. At the set, with 2 outs, 0-2 count, misses outside, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Santa Fe got 1 in the second, 1 in the fourth, 2 in the fifth, and 3 in the 7th. This one swung on and fouled to the left side. For Tucson, they countered back with 2 in the fourth, got 1 in the fifth and 1 in the sixth, but were shut out in the 7th and currently are behind 7-4. At the set, to the plate, misses outside on a half swing that apparently did not cross the plane of the plate. And our count will go to 2-2. Bunches of 2s up on the board. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Top of the 7th, swung on and missed, and a strikeout recorded. So now the Tucson Saguaros will try to go to work here in the bottom of the 8th with their last 2 opportunities coming up, the bottom of the 8th and the bottom of the 9th. For Tucson in the bottom of the 8th inning, they will send up Tanner Geisel, Thomas McKenna, and Burnell Daly. There are 2 hits recorded amongst the 3 of them. Geisel got a triple, an RBI triple as a matter of fact, and McKenna got an RBI single. But so far, Burnell Daly has been held in check. So those will be the 3 in order here in the 8th inning. No pitching change. Nicholas Carrillo is still on the mound for the Fuego. Tanner stepping in there, the third baseman for the Tucson Saguaros, came into this game batting .333, and he's gone 1 for 3, so that will remain the same, all depending on this particular at-bat. As Tucson tries to dig itself out of a 3-run hole here after winning the first 2 in this 4-game series, the pitch misses outside for a ball. Alvarez at third, Artson at short, Martini at second, and Manji at first. Pitching combination of Carrillo and Taveras. Another one misses way outside. Looking at the outfield for Santa Fe, Lacuna in left field, Haskins in center, and Bradley Thomas in right. Thomas has made a couple of nice defensive plays out there and squelched a run or two for Tucson. This one swung on and hit towards right center. Haskins with a good jump on it, but it falls in between Haskins and Thomas for a base hit. Possibly a little bit of miscommunication out there. Haskins kind of slowed up on the ball as Thomas began to close in on it. And Thomas also put the brakes on right at the last second. So it falls in for a base hit. That's going to be the 9th base hit of the evening for Tucson, and McKenna steps in. McKenna has one of those base hits. He's 1 for 3. Started the game just under 300, fouls one off to the fans in the right-hand side and right field bleachers. Actually, we don't have bleachers here per se. There are field seats on either side, and that went into the right side. Beautiful AAA ballpark, nicely configured. 0-1 pitch to McKenna. Misses outside, even at 1. 340 down each line, very symmetrical here. 375 straight away, and the gaps it's 388, and straight away 405. Several AAA franchises have been in here. This one half swung, and McKenna would love to have that swing back. Talking to locals in the area, they point to the fact that there is not a lot of nightlife in this particular area. In fact, not a lot, zero if you really come right down to it. And the stadium is off in what is described as not particularly hard hit left field. It may have some distance back to the wall, and it's gone. Well, that won't get it all back, but that sure got 2 of them back in one quick hurry. 2-run home run for the right fielder for the Saguaros, Thomas McKenna. That is the 3rd home run on the season for McKenna, and that brings up Burnell Daly. Daly is 0 for 3, has struck out a couple of times, but now with nobody out, first pitch on the outside corner for a called strike. Nobody out, nobody on, but 2 in for the Saguaros. That made it over the 340 sign. Swinging strike for Daly, and he's down in the dumps 0-2. Carried the wall by maybe 10 feet, so we'll give him 350 on the home run. Swung on and hit down the right field side, but foul. Jesse Baker is on deck. Baker has a double. He came on to replace the catcher, Tommy Lyons, in the 6th inning. Got a double and then scored on a base hit by Brian Lubeck. Burnell Daly, the center fielder, 0-2. Changeup swung on and dribbled down the left field, or rather the third baseline, and foul. Local bat boys here tonight. Don't know the young man's name, but he's all decked up in an Arizona Diamondbacks uniform. That might be his Little League team. I think there's a Little League around here that every team is named the Diamondbacks. Interesting. Fifth pitch of the at-bat, 0-2 to Burnell Daly, center fielder for the Saguaros. Off-speed pitch floats high. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Kind of fun on the internet to know where people are checking in. Thank you very much for the chat line every now and then. 0-2, 1-2 rather. Misses outside and will square it up. 2-2, nobody out, nobody on. After a 2-run home run by the right fielder Thomas McKenna, third of the year. Seven to 6 is the score. Pitch misses low, and with the 8th pitch of the at-bat, we'll be looking at a 3-2 count. Baker on deck, and then the pitcher / second base / whatever position is coming up, the 9th in the order. It won't be Lubeck, he's out. Suspect it might be Rampone, who went to second base after he was pulled from the pitching mound. Way outside, and they get a base runner. Nicholas Carrillo, the pitcher, kind of short-armed that thing and pulled it way outside. And coming out of the dugout for the Fuego is T.J. Zarwitz, who is the player manager now for the Santa Fe gang. So as they check things over, we'll once again thank you very much for being there. And if you have not already subscribed, if you wouldn't mind doing that. That gives me some ammunition to be able to possibly do the road games. Okay, the conversation is broken up. Nicholas Carrillo still on the mound. They don't have anybody warming up in the bullpen, so apparently it is his to take care of one way or the other. Jesse Baker doubled and scored back in the 6th inning. Scored on a base hit by Lubeck, who had moved to second base after being the starting pitcher. Brian went 5 innings, gave up 4 runs, got 4 strikeouts, gave up 1 walk, and the pitch is high and away. Tucson gave up 3 in the top of the 7th, and now they're coming back in the bottom of the 8th, looking seriously close to getting 3 themselves. Pitch just misses. And we get a bark or 2 out of the Santa Fe dugout. They weren't too happy with the balls and strikes called last night. Two balls, no strikes. Nobody out here in the bottom of the 8th inning, and a couple across on a 2-run home run by Thomas McKenna, the right fielder for the Saguaro. Way outside, going to 3. In case you're not from this area, the nickname for the Tucson group, the very aged cactus that grows predominantly around the area. They grow to be 150 to 200 years old. Misses 4 straight balls. And that will put a runner in scoring position with nobody out, as Burnell Daly, who has excellent speed, has now moved around to second base, and we'll see who they bring up. For the Saguaro, this is Cameron Cox. He is listed as a pitcher, but Cameron was 2 for 3 as a pitcher last night. So Cameron Cox will come in and pitch it. Nice to have multiple talents. Maybe not along the line of Babe Ruth, who started off as a pitcher. And I think you may know what he accomplished. Carrillo looks back to second, comes to the plate, bunting, and if I may say so, Cameron was not particularly adept at getting the bat on the ball. It was an inside pitch, and as he was dancing out of the way, he tried to lay the bunt down. Basically, you want to be laying down a bunt on a strike. You'll take the walk if they'll give it to you. Around the bunt again. This time he's successful. Down to third and going to third and not getting him. So on a fielder's choice, rather poor decision, if I may say so, by Nicholas Carrillo. Going to third, there was no chance to the speedy Daly at going from second to third. And so they are loaded up here with nobody out in the bottom of the eighth inning, and two of them across already. And the dangerous hitting Michael Morris stepping in there. Now, Michael has had a tough night going 0 for 4. But certainly has the lumber to do it, is batting .392 coming into the game. Some conversation with Carrillo from the umpire in the field. And from the left side, Daly first and third, Alvarez at third and Manji at first, up on the bag, ready to come home if necessary. The first pitch, a swinging strike. Although there are no outs recorded so far, this one hit towards second base. Shortstop dropped it and could not recover the ball. It was kind of a soft line drive, and the shortstop, Artson, tried to do too many things at once. Tried to get the ball, look up, and try to get the double play out of it, and didn't even catch the soft line drive that was hit to him, and that will tie it up. 3 runs in. We'll move Baker over to third base, and that puts Cox on second base, and Morris is on first. And the hitter is Rampone, who had pitched in the middle part of the game here. Then when they pulled him out, they put him on second. Slow curveball misses high and away, and the infield is in. All tied up at 7-7, as Santa Fe has given back 3 here in the 8th inning, 1 on a 2-run home run, and another one on some shoddy pitching and a poor decision going to third base on a sacrifice bunt. Second pitch is a ball, 2-0, bases loaded, nobody out. Bottom of the 8th inning, all tied up 7-7. Fastball misses outside. 3-0. So Carrillo is in the realm of possibility of walking in another run. (3-0) on the batter, Michael Rampone. Gets the called strike. Rampone tried to intimidate the umpire into giving him a ball as he tossed the bat away. That annoys umpires something fierce, and if there's anything around the plate, it's going to be called a strike on the next pitch. 3-1, bases loaded. Rampone at the plate, swung on and fouled back to the screen, and it'll be 3-2. Sixth pitch of the at-bat. Carrillo started the inning and has struggled. Infield is in. Alvarez a step or two back at third for the right-hand hitter. Fouled off to the screen again. The next batter up is Adam Urbania. And Urbania has 2 doubles on the night. Rampone batting in the second position, which was occupied by Devon Poole, until Rampone was pulled off the mound and placed at second base. Set, no look at the runners, to the plate 3-2, and reaching out and saving his at-bat and driving a foul down the right side is Rampone. So we'll go to the 8th pitch of the at-bat. 7 runs, 10 hits, 2 errors for Santa Fe. 7 runs, 10 hits, and 3 errors for Tucson. Two of those errors were throwing errors trying to get somebody at third, and runs scored in both occasions. Off-speed pitch, curveball, wrap foul down the third base line, and we'll go to number 9. Live on YouTube from Kino Stadium in Tucson, Arizona. Bases are loaded. There are no outs. 3 runs are in for Tucson. This one swung on and fouled back. Pitch number 10. Wine Country, California checking in. Nice to have you with us this evening. Nobody up in either bullpen, although Carrillo has struggled mightily coming in as a relief pitcher in the 5th. This one is fouled off into the stands, so we'll go to 11. Michael Rampone out of New Jersey is really working it here. He was 2 for 4 last night. Has recorded 4 doubles in his tenure here with Tucson. And now would be a sweet time to check in with another double. 3-2. Fouled off again, and we'll go to 12. Going to see who gives in, Nicholas Carrillo or the batter Michael Rampone. As we're all tied up in the bottom of the 8th inning with the bases jammed and nobody out. And Rampone is really working it here. 3-2, infield on the grass. Hit right up the middle, and that'll get at least 1. They're moving the runner around from third. Coming home, the throw is cut off, and that will count 2. Baker scores from third, and coming around from second is Cameron Cox. So 2 RBI, and now we've got 5 in for Tucson, and they move ahead by a score of 9-7, and that will bring a visit to the mound from the manager, Zarwitz, for Santa Fe. And that appears to be the end of it for Nicholas Carrillo. Innings pitched, 0. Runs given up, 5. 3 hits is all that's been given up in the inning. Had 2 walks and a fielder's choice. The big blow, a 2-run home run. However, a base hit for Michael Rampone on the 12th hit of the at-bat. Plated 2 more. So we have had 2 2-run hits. And coming in to pitch for the Fuego is number 33, and that is Jimmy Daly. Daly, one of a pair of players out of Brooklyn, New York. They did not play for the same college situation. Daly was with the Roswell Invaders last year, and he will be throwing to the other player from Brooklyn, New York, and that's the catcher, Chris Taveras. Taveras put his club ahead with a base hit, his first one in 10 attempts in this series, as Taveras got an RBI single in the 7th inning, and that led to 3 runs for the Saguaros, for the Fuego in the 7th inning. But the top of the 7th, they were unable to do anything, and in the bottom of the 7th, Tucson was unable to do anything, but here in the 8th inning, The Saguaros have put 5 across, and that has been their modus operandi in this series, as they have used the big inning to be able to get up on top after being down early. Right-hander against left-hander, misses high. Adam Urbania is up there. Couple of doubles, one in the first and one in the fourth. Grounded out to Martini in the 5th inning and flew out to center field. Haskins rips it to right field. It's down the line, and that will score at least one. Coming around from first base is Rampone, but he puts on the brakes and is going to be played at third base, and it got him. Well, Michael Rampone rounded third base and started home and was unable to put on the brakes and get back to the bag. And the relay gets him at third base for the first out of the inning. And the out was from 9 to 2 to 5. And that makes the first out of here the 8th inning. But 6 runs are in, and that will bring up Adam Retz with Urbania with a base hit, and going to second base on the throw is in scoring position, and he winds up with 1 run batted in. Very possibly could have been 2, but Michael Rampone rounded third, could not put on the brakes and got caught going in. And let's see, are they going to let him go to first base on that? I guess they are. A breaking pitch hits Rentz, and he goes to first base. Didn't make a whole lot of effort to get out of the way. And the wheels have come off the wagon here as Jim Daly came in and gave up a booming base hit to right field, scoring 1. And getting Rampone thrown out at third base, trying to stretch it into a run, but was unable to get back to third when he saw it wasn't going to happen. So batting around here, Tanner Geisel comes up. He started things off with a base hit. And a balk is called. So we'll move the runners around to third and second. The balk called immediately by the base umpire. We're still in the 8th inning and have batted around here. Geisel is up there. He got a base hit and scored. On the corner for a strike. Geisel scored on the 2-run home run by Thomas McKenna, and that's what opened the floodgates here, and have resulted now in 6 runs for the Saguaros in the bottom of the 8th inning, as they have kept their modus operandi going with the big inning to come back and win after being down. Pitch outside for a ball. Fuego infielders are up on the grass, hoping to cut off the run here, but it is 10-7 in favor of Santa Fe, or check that, in favor of the Saguaros. Pitch, check swing, called strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Big number 37, the third baseman for Tucson, up there for the second time this inning with a 1 ball, 2 strike count. Infield is in. Pitch is in the dirt. Stopped by Taveras. And the count is 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Runners at second and third. Off-speed pitch lifted into the right field stands. Just off of first base. Boy, Rampone really wore out Carrillo. On the 13th pitch of the at-bat, got a 2-run single to right field. 2-run home run by McKenna, the next hitter up, have done most of the damage here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Off-speed pitch swung on and fouled back. Ten runs, 12 hits for Tucson. They have committed 3 errors. 2 of those errors were throwing errors towards third base, trying to get a runner going that way, and both of them resulted in a score. At the set is Daly, to the plate, swung on and missed, strike 3. That is the second out of the inning, and that will bring up Thomas McKenna for his second at-bat here in the 8th inning. McKenna is 2 for 4, and one of those 2 was a 2-run home run. He also got a run-scoring single in the 4th inning, so Thomas has had a very productive evening with 2 hits and 3 RBI. Got his 3rd home run of the season in his first at-bat here in the bottom of the 8th. Fastball misses outside. McKenna, the right fielder, 1-0 with first base open. Off-speed curveball gets in there for a strike. Ben Baker, the third base coach for the Saguaro, might have to ice down his right shoulder as he did the windmill move to several times during this inning to send runners around third and home. 2 balls and 1 strike against McKenna. Of course, that's an icing that you don't mind, as your club has scored 6 runs here in the inning. Swung on and missed for strike 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th. But 2 times 3, 6 is what the Saguaros have sent home here in their half of the 8th inning. 2-2 missed outside, 3-2 will go. Couple of noteworthy 3-2s. Burnell Daly went 3-2 before he walked, and Michael Rampone went 3-2, and on the 13th pitch of his at-bat got a run-scoring single. Hit high to left field. Lacuna is under it, and that mercifully for Santa Fe will end the inning with a fly out to left field. 3rd out of the inning. 4 hits on the inning. And 6 runs come across the plate, and it is after 8 full innings of play. The score is 10-6 in favor of Tucson. Turn over the card and take a look at what's happening here in the top of the 9th inning. And that will be Luis Martini, Chris Taveras, and Kevin Alvarez. David Robles on the mound for the Saguaros to try to close it out here in the top of the 9th inning. Well, the first night, Thursday, it was a 3-run third inning. And then Friday night, it was a 3-run fifth inning. And tonight, the Saguaros decided that they'd wait until the eighth inning and then double that. So they got 6 in the 8 to go up 10-7. As I will have to say, the changes that have occurred in Santa Fe have been positive ones, because when they made their road trip through here at the first weekend of the season, they were pounded readily by the local club here in Tucson. But they have come back and been very competitive under new interim manager T.J. Sarwitz, who is now trotting down to third base to coach and see if he can't get something going. Santa Fe got 2 in the fifth inning, and then they got 3 in the seventh, so it's not beyond the realm of possibility that they could explode here. But David Robles, who is the new pitcher on the mound, is certainly desirous of not having that happen. Luis Martini got double last time up and a single the time before that. Looks at the first pitch as a ball. He scored both times. Prior to that, he had grounded out to shortstop and got on a fielder's choice. Looks at the next pitch, a called strike 1-1. Martini, Taveras, and Alvarez hit down foul on the third base side, 1-2. Taveras got an RBI single after Martini had doubled in the seventh inning, and that started things off for their 3-run seventh inning. Got nothing in the eighth, and now with their last opportunity here in the ninth, ball 2. A little bit of argument out of the Tucson dugout. 2-2, nobody on, nobody out. First batter here in the top of the ninth inning, and we'll go full. David Robles in to try to close it out, and he gets called a third strike right at the letters. And Santa Fe barking at the umpire a little bit. Robles is 1-0 on the season, 3.75. This is his 10th game. He's pitched 12 innings and given up 5 earned runs during that period of time. Taveras takes a called strike. Cooled off nicely this evening. Dropped down into the low 80s. Depending on where you are nearby. Fouled off to the right, and right away the catcher, Taveras, is down 0-2. Taveras had gone 0 for 11 before his RBI single last inning, so he's 1 for 12, looks at one up high and has a ball called on it. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Back to the plate, hits him. Now, the other night we had something like that where the batter kind of swung at the ball and got hit on the forearm, and at that time they called it as a strikeout. The only thing that I had in disagreement with that at that time was that the ball was dropped, and we're going to have a pinch runner for Taveras. Taveras plays first base and is the catcher, so we'll try to catch who we have down there. They walked out with their back to us the whole time. 26 is the pinch runner, so that's going to be somebody that we don't have. Swell. Let's see if we can find 26 on this other roster here. Somebody named Ortega, so my apologies if Mrs., either mother or mom, is listening and we don't have a first name. Alvarez, big swing, misses. Kevin Alvarez is up there. He has gone 0 for 3, got on a walk and scored in the seventh inning. Next pitch is a called strike. Well, the PA announcer got it, but we didn't. Oh well, 0-2 on the hitter Alvarez with a runner at first base as a hit batsman. Next pitch misses outside and draws a groan from Tucson's dugout. A lot of umpires in the stands and in the dugouts. 1-2 pitch, 1 out. Top of the ninth, this one swung on and hit towards Morris. This might be it. To second base and first for the double play. 6-4-3, and that'll do it. Well, true to form, the Saguaros got behind and then came back with a big inning, and they sweep the 3 here in Kino Stadium. There will be a baseball game for these two in Bisbee, Arizona. So that wraps it up here from Kino Stadium. We'll be back with you on Thursday evening. Unfortunately, we do not go on the road with the YouTube Live as we are tonight, but we are here Thursday, Friday, and Saturday of next week. The Saguaros will be playing White Sands in 6 games this week. After the game tomorrow in Bisbee against Santa Fe, then the Saguaros will travel to White Sands, New Mexico for 3, and then come back here for 4, 3 of them here at Kino Stadium, and then a 4th one over at Bisbee. Well, that does it tonight from Kino Veterans Memorial Stadium in Tucson, Arizona, with the final score, Tucson 10 and Santa Fe 7. For Alan Scott, wishing you a good night.